Am I audible to everyone? Is it clear? Please drop me a confirmation message. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Am I audible? Yes. Cool. Fine. So what are we going to see today? So it's a previous year question paper discussion of year 2018. So this class, it's not like normally how we do the discussion. Like we in our special classes we were like taking some question. So I'll be posting the question, I'll generate the poll, and we will discuss the content. But here when it comes to the previous year questions, we are going to discuss the basic contents, yes, in certain questions. Most importantly, we are going to try to understand what kind of question UPSC asks, what is demand, what is the demand of UPSC, how to approach these questions. Okay. So till today, we would have been preparing for questions based on the concepts. Today, the discussion will be based on the strategy. Okay, here we are going to concentrate more on strategy than more on the content part, because the content part you can get it from anywhere. You search the internet, you can get it. It's not the it's not the thing which is more important, or it is not the only important concept. Yes, the content is needed, but more than that, the preliminary examination is about a decision making examination. Okay, so they want you to take the perfect decision, they want you to take the very good decision. So with whatever you have, with whatever facts you have, they will take you the perfect decision, provided with you have some knowledge based on those questions. That is what UPSC expects from you. So what kind of questions they give you, what kind of traps they keep for you. And one more thing is, in UPSC preliminary questions, the questions are not set that you have to answer it. The questions are set such a way that you don't answer it rightly. Okay, that I want you all to understand. Fine. The questions are set such that you might get confused in place. You might get misguided with certain facts. That is what UP does. That is what happens in our bureaucrat life also. So when you become a bureaucrat, when you are a civil servant, when you want to take a decision, there will be so much facts before you. You have knowledge about that, basic knowledge about that. Still, when you take a decision, you should be very clear enough about whatever is happening to take a decision. So that is what we will be seeing today. So 2018 question paper is very good question paper. UPSC standard is like they don't ask you tough questions. I want you all to understand that first. UPSC doesn't ask you tough questions, UPSC asks you tricky questions. Clear? They don't they just imagine just the previous year questions. It's not like data somewhere you can't find it all, data some data which you have never read at all. No, every data you have studied somewhere, everything you have come across somewhere in your life. But the thing is, in that examination hall, you just struggle to take a decision. That is what happens in the UPSC preliminary examination. So what we are going to do today is, we are going to pinpoint what are the traps, pinpoint what are all the opportunities you have. Okay, that is also very important. Not like every questions are set such that you cannot answer. There are certain questions which is very simple, very basic, that everyone who knows a basic thing about what's happening around them can answer. That kind of questions also come. But sometimes, unfortunately, we get misleaded by that question also. We will see those questions also. Clear? Yes. So for this, I would like to thank Unacademy, India's largest learning platform. We know very well they are giving us very good opportunities, especially for the preparation of a UP examination and many other examinations. And about me, I would like to introduce, I'm basically an engineer. I have 4 years of teaching experience in terms of civil services, and have mentored more than 100 students, and I'm anthropology faculty. So I have teaching experience in NEET also. So this is my Telegram channel's link, and this is my profile link for Unacademy. I would like to remind you people one thing. So today we will be seeing strategy here. So when you have any doubts related to concepts in any of the subjects, I have discussed minimum of 100 questions from every subject. The most important questions, like if you are clear about these 100 questions or 100 concepts. So if you are clear about all these concepts in each subject, along with the strategy what we are going to see for the 4 days, so you will be able to attempt the preliminary examination with some confidence. Clear? Fine. So we'll go into this, and what you will get when you subscribe, you get the daily live classes, structured courses, live test and quizzes, and unlimited access. You can like access your classes unlimited times, n number of times. And you can download the app in Google Play Store and Apple Store. And we are interacting with 100 plus top educators, and the syllabus is covered such that we meet the demand of UPSC. See, we are even discussing the previous year questions, right? And this is about the subscription details. When it comes to the subscription details, I should tell you people that there is going to be a hike very soon. So please subscribe as early as possible so that you avoid that fee hike. And this is my code SUBA, Suba. So this code, if you use, you get a 10% of offer, and for 12 months and 20 months, you also have no cost EMI. Fine. So we go for EMI for many things. Why not for something useful, and why not for something very much needed? So there is two things called as plus and iconic. So plus, we talk about in-class guidance. So this is about class. Within class, whatever guidance you get comes under plus. But I want more than that. Out of the class, I want personal attention. I want someone to tell me, give me some feedbacks. I want daily mains answer writing session. You will be given a personal coach and a proper study planner according to your timings, everything. Then you should definitely go for iconic. Okay, so please do opt for subscription because there is going to be a hike very soon. Do not forget to use my code SUBA. Fine. Okay, so this is about the plus, this is about iconic. For both plus and iconic, you can use my code. So this is a special class. I'm repeating again, guys. So today we will be seeing strategy, but if you have any doubts, if you have any problem related to concept, some subject you would have been eliminated thinking that the subject is very tough. Some people don't are not that good in economics, some people in geography, some people in polity. I want you to go and visit my special classes. Just go to the Unacademy platform, search for R Suba Keerthana. So you could have seen this is the first half of my name and the code. So search for R Suba Keerthana. In that you will be having free courses and about. Okay, so just go to this plus. You will be having this special classes. If you go to the see all, you will see many special classes related to all subjects. It's all free and recorded. Don't worry. Just go and watch all those. You get the PDF also. They're all like 100 most important questions. Fine, in some subjects I might have discussed more than 100 also. So I want you to go and revise those questions. They are all very, very important, which will definitely help you in strengthening your content part. Fine, fine. So going to this. So what we are going to do today, we'll go to the questions. So I will tell you the answer. I will also give you the strategy to how to crack these kind of questions. What is the trap here? Okay, what you should see in these kind of questions to not fall into trap, or what you should see in these kind of questions to select the correct answer. Okay, this is what we are going to do today. So I want every one of you to have a pen and paper with you, so that some certain things when I tell you, I want you to note it down. Okay, so later on what you have to do is you have to attend these kind of questions with whatever I tell you, the important strategies I give you, so that you should see how it is working. Okay, and one more thing I will tell you, I will never give you a strategy like mostly this happens. If someone is teaching you like mostly if this is coming, it will be wrong. Mostly if you see terms like only, always, it will be wrong. Don't go to those kind of strategies. That doesn't work, because UPSC is way more clever than us. They will find, if you have found out pattern, UPSC doesn't have a pattern. They have set up every question with some, every word in the question paper with some reason behind it. No question is there just because you fill one question and they just copy and paste it from somewhere. No, that doesn't happen. Every question there's a reason behind it. Every word there is having a reason behind it. So when you read the question paper also, you should have it in this mind and you should read it. Okay, so be very cool, composed and confident when you approach a UPSC preliminary question paper. Okay, we will be discussing GS1 paper or CSAT 1 paper of 2018. Going to the first question. With reference to Indian regional navigation system, excuse me. Yes. Am I clear and audible to all? Can you just drop me a confirmation message that I can know that I'm audible and clear to everyone? Yes. Shall I continue? Yes. Fine. Okay. So see this question. With respect to the Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, IRNSS, consider the following statements. IRNSS has 3 satellites in geostationary and 4 satellites in the geosynchronous orbits. So you should know about geostationary and geosynchronous for that. Okay. See, I'm repeating again. I'm not going to tell you content today. Okay. When unless it is very important, I will talk about content. But mostly we will be discussing about the strategy. Second, IRNSS covers entire India and about 5,800 square kilometer beyond its borders. India will have its own satellite navigation system with full global coverage by the middle of 2019. Okay. So this question was, 2018 prelims question. Fine. So which of the following statement is given above is correct? So let's see the answer first. So the answer is A. So answer is 1 only. Fine, which means second and third statement are wrong. Fine. This is current affairs. First of all, this question was current affairs. So in this, see the statement, IRNSS covers entire India. That's true. But about 5,500 square kilometer beyond its borders. They are not talking about India. Sorry. They are talking about, India and beyond its border together. They are not talking about 5,500 square kilometer. They are talking India, apart from India, 5,500 square kilometers. So this part they are talking about 5,500 square kilometer, which is not possible because 5,500 square kilometers is like we go beyond our Asian continent. Do you understand? So UPSC plays with number, but it is not like instead of giving you an answer of 550, they will be asking 550 to 2. These kind of things they don't play with you. They don't want to check if you know the exact number. They want to check if you have the range sense. 5,500 square kilometer beyond its border is like you go out of Asia. Fine, that is not possible. So the second statement is wrong here. Okay, here if you eliminate second statement, you get you are eliminating this and you are eliminating this. And one more thing, here will have its own satellite navigation with full global coverage. So what is the key term I have to see here? Full global coverage. So here entire India is right. About 5,500 square kilometer beyond its border is not right. 5,500, you should think 5,500 is like I should cross so much. Not possible. And can we get global coverage? We are talking IRNSS is Indian Regional Navigation System. See the question. Regional navigation system. We are talking of region, not global. Global and region is kind of antonyms. Okay, I don't know about anything. I'm just seeing the question. I'm seeing the term regional. I'm seeing the term global. So the term itself, the name itself has Indian Regional Navigation, and here you have global. How is it possible? Obviously, the third statement is wrong. So you can eliminate second and third statement readily, and you are coming to the answer one only. Now, do you understand how I am eliminating? I'm not talking about the content here. See, geostationary and geosynchronous is right. Okay, this is basic content. The first point is basic content. You should know about Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. In that we have total 7 satellites. That geostationary, in geostationary we have 3, and geosynchronous we have 4. Geostationary is like, so it is, it will be set in a point that it is rotating in the speed of, revolving the earth in the speed of rotation of earth. So for us it looks like the satellite is stationed in some place. It is not actually stationed, it is revolving around the earth only, but the speed of revolution of the satellite is equal to the speed of rotation of the earth. That is geostationary. Okay, so geosynchronous, it synchronizes with the speed of earth. So this is what is the first statement. The first statement is right, I don't see problem over there. But the second and third statement, I don't know the exact number, but still I can find out the answer by properly reading the question. Indian regional, the term itself says regional. How can you get global coverage, that to full global coverage? Not possible. IRNSS covers entire India, 5,500 square kilometer beyond its border. It's also not possible. 5,500 is like a very big area, which is not possible for us. We will be covering India, Bangladesh, a part of Myanmar, Sri Lanka, that's all. Okay, so coming to this, see here, see, IRNSS being developed parallel to the Gagan GPS aided geo augmented satellite navigation. So what I'm going to do is I will give you the PDF. So don't worry about all these part. You will get the PDF in the Telegram channel. Join the Telegram channel. You will get the PDF over there. You will see the content. Today I'm going to talk about what is the trap, what is the opportunity you can get, how can you eliminate the answer. Clear? First question, did you all get clear? How did I solve the first question? Any problem here? Yes? See, just 1,500 square kilometer they have given, more than some, nearly 5 times they have given, nearly 5 times the size they have given. You can get, fine, they are expecting you this. See, instead of 1 they gave you 5. So what they expect from you in this question, what I have found out, first they expect number but not the exact number. They are just expecting the range. So whenever you read a number, you should know, you should be having a knowledge about range. Second, I'm reading the question properly. So in that question it has given Indian regional navigation, and in the option it has given global. If I'm talking about region, how it can be global? So these two common ideology, the common observation factor you have, you can answer it right. Clear, guys? Shall we go to the next question? Yes? Do you have any doubts? See, then and there, in that particular question, have any doubt, please do ask me. Okay? Clear. We'll go to the next question. Fine? Yes. See this. Consider following phenomena. One, I should tell you, whenever there is a question based on science, they ask you basics. Number 1. Number 2, current affairs, basics of current affairs. Fine. So now there is a problem we are facing, COVID-19. So what do they ask about? They will ask about COVID-19, or they will ask about virus in general. They will ask about communicable diseases, or is there any uh, governmental schemes or any reactions that have taken place. So you can expect action from these only from science and technology. Do you understand? In terms of science and technology, you get questions from the very basic science. So see here, consider the following statement. Light is affected by gravity. Okay, the universe is constantly expanding. Matter warps its surrounding space and time. So what is the question? Which of the above is or are the predictions of Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity often discussed in media? Okay, so that time the gravitational waves was found. So gravitational waves were something Einstein was talking for a very long time. That year in 2017, 16, 17 time, the gravitational waves were found and it proved the theory of relativity. So what happened? This became very famous. Okay, so let's see the answer. So the answer is C, 1 and 3 only. Okay. See, this light is affected by gravity, comes under theory of relativity. Matter warps around its space-time. Space-time, the relationship between this space-time, that is what is about theory of relativity. Okay. But this universe is constantly expanding is about astronomy. It is completely different. That does not come under Einstein's general theory of relativity. Okay. These three are scientifically right. By physics, they are right. But do they come under Einstein's theory of relativity? No. The second statement does not come under Einstein's theory of relativity. Okay. So the bending of light, very, very important. Masses acts like a lens, such as gravitational lensing. So light gets bent by gravity. The most important concept is black hole. Black hole, why we call it as black hole? It has a very high gravitational force that it even attracts light. Even light cannot escape black hole. That is why it is black in color. That is why we can't see it. That is the reason about black hole. Okay. So this is purely a concept oriented and current affair oriented questions. Sometimes these kind of questions cannot be answered. You understand? In UPSC, out of 100 questions, don't try to answer all the 100 questions. It won't work out. There are certain questions which are very tough that we don't want to take risk. You can just keep these questions, unless you are very clear about Einstein's theory of Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. You have studied in basics. You can go to this. Otherwise, some people, most of the people will go to option D here only. But still, this universe is constantly expanding is a different concept. Okay, fine. Next. See, gravitational wave is different. Gravitational wave is when two body of very high masses collide each other. From them there is a kind of wave which gets generated and moves in the space. That is called as gravitational wave. Gravitational wave was something which was related to theory of relativity, which Einstein very long back have given in his theory. But that proof has been proven recently in 2000, after 2016-15 only, when they discovered this gravitational wave. So instead of asking questions related to gravitational wave, they asked 2 years consecutively based on gravitational waves. So this year what they did, they went to the base of gravitational wave, which is the Einstein's theory of relativity. So whenever you see a current affair, you might be going to some class related to current affairs, or you might be referring some material related to current affairs, yes. But I want you to go to the basic, especially in terms of science current affairs. You study about the disease, go to the basic of that disease. Is it a viral disease? Is it a bacterial disease? Is it a communicable disease? Is it a lifestyle disease? These kind of concepts. So when you study about gravitational wave, it is related to Einstein's theory of relativity. What are the basics of Einstein's theory of relativity? Only the basic. They won't ask you the formula. They don't ask you with the so complex concepts and all. Fine. Next question. Yes. With reference to the genetically modified mustard seed. So they're talking about GM mustard developed in India. Consider the following statements. GM mustard has the seeds of soil bacterium that give the plant the property of pest resistance to a wide variety of pests. GM mustard has the genes that allow the plant cross-pollination and hybridization. Okay. GM mustard has been developed joined by IARI and Punjab Agricultural University. So let's see the options. 1 and 3 only. So I'm writing the options here. Okay. 1 and 3 only. And then 2 only. And then 2 and 3 only. And then the 1, 2, 3. Fine. So this is the statement. So with reference to the genetically modified or GM seeds developed in India, consider the following statement. GM mustard has seeds of soil bacterium. Okay, before that you should see here, are they asking about correct statement or are they asking about wrong statement? Okay, fine. See, GM mustard has the genes of soil bacterium that gives the plant the property of pest resistance to a wide variety of seeds, and it has the genes that allow the plant cross pollination and hybridization. GM mustard have been developed jointly by IARI and Punjab Agricultural University. Fine. So here we have to know about one thing. What is this? IARI. Okay. So this came in current affairs number 1. So this, for this kind of questions, you should have studied that year's current affairs. Okay, number 1. Number 2, if you have studied the current affairs, you could have known one thing. GM mustard have been developed by a team of scientists at Delhi University Center for Genetic Manipulation of Crop Plants, led by the former Vice Chancellor Deepak Pental. So if you know only this, it's under Delhi University. If you study the current affairs and you know that, you can eliminate the third option. So if you eliminate the third option only, you get the answer. Okay, so this, for this question, it's not based on the concept alone. For this question, you should know the current affair. Okay, so when you're studying current affair, when you for genetics, here why this question is important. So this question has genetics plus agriculture. So genetics and agriculture both are most important concepts. So when you are studying the current affairs, if you see these kind of potential concepts, I want you to revise it again. So if you revise it again, these kind of questions can be attempted. Just by eliminating that it's not related to Punjab, it's related to Delhi University, you eliminate the third option. So if you eliminate third options, you can just, you are getting directly to the answer 2 only. Fine? Okay. Next question. See, this CRISPR Cas9 has been in question paper for almost 3 years. Okay. Some questions get repeated again and again. You understand? Some questions get repeated again and again in the UPSC examination. Fine. So like CRISPR Cas9, gravitational waves. One question at least based on genetics. So these kind of questions are must that you should study, even though they do not come under current affair. Do you understand? Because CRISPR Cas9 has been a major breakthrough in terms of genetic engineering. So it's so precise and it is so perfect that it can do wonders in terms of genetic engineering. So even though they do not come in current affairs, till something else is found out, this CRISPR Cas9 will be as a boon to genetic engineering. So some concepts which are not in current affairs, but still they are very important. They are like a landmark thing. They will be asked in current affairs again and again. Clear? So such thing is CRISPR Cas9. So here CRISPR Cas9 is not related to particle physics. I told you again, it is related to genetic engineering. They only expect that from you. They want to know that CRISPR Cas9 is related to genetic engineering. That's all. Know that you can eliminate the option 3. So they're asking you correctly matched. You can eliminate the option 3 and you can come to the answer 2 only. See? Do you understand? See the answer. Clear? CRISPR Cas9 is related to genetic engineering. That's all. You need not know how it works, nothing. If you know CRISPR Cas9 is related to genetic engineering, you are eliminating the option 3. So here you are eliminating 3 only, go to B. UPSC questions are so clever and they save your time if you find out that particular that trick. Okay, you can call it like you have one thread, you pull that thread, you perfectly pull that thread, you go to the answer straight away. Many questions are designed such a way. Clear? Can you see this? Okay, just you know that CRISPR Cas9 is related to genetic engineering. You didn't know anything. You can eliminate. Sometimes if you don't eliminate, you have to go to the next step. Okay, mostly the questions are designed such a way only. So in that, the blockchain, you know about blockchain. So blockchain technology was famous. Cryptocurrency, digital currency or cryptocurrency works under this concept of blockchain technology. Okay, yes. Yes, next. See this. Carbon fertilization. Fine. So coming to this question, which of the following statement best describes carbon fertilization? I will tell you this. What happens? Um, Usually we see climate change or we see carbon dioxide as a very bad concept. Yes, they are. That is how it is projected everywhere. In current affairs we study about all these things. See this question, which of the following statement best describes carbon fertilization? Increased plant growth due to increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It seems like a very good thing. Okay, fine. Increased temperature of Earth due to increased concentration of carbon dioxide in atmosphere. Does it sound like global warming or greenhouse effect? This is actually global warming. Increased temperature of Earth is global warming. So I'm eliminating this. This is definitely not carbon fertilization. See, you should read all these statements, all the four options in these kind of questions, because they look oddly similar and you can't find out, what is the correct answer if you don't read every word carefully. Increased acidity of, see, increased acidity of ocean, cleverly ocean acidification, nothing else. Yes or no? This is ocean acidification. Adaptation of all living beings on Earth due to climate change brought about the increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Okay, so seems like a different concept. D and A. I have the I have the question related to D and A. See, this carbon fertilization, fertility means reproduction, growth. So increased plant growth due to the increase of concentration only should be the answer. See, adaptation and fertilization is very different concept. These both will not come together, but fertilization means related to some increase is fertilization. So I can talk about increased plant growth due to increased concentration of carbon dioxide. Obviously we know photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is needed. So when the carbon dioxide level increases, the photosynthesis level also increases. So it is not like always we should see these concepts as villains. Sometimes these things also have the positive side. One such thing is this. Okay, clear? Now do you know the answer? How I found out the answer? I studied all the four options. Without reading all the four options, if you are choosing an option, it will be wrong. And that too, people will get confused with A and D, because B you can straight away go to global warming. C you can straight away go to ocean acidification, because increased acidity of ocean acidification, increased temperature, global warming, simple. Okay, so you have to see one more thing. When you are eliminating an option, you should know why you are eliminating an option. So elimination is a very method to majority of question, but you can't just eliminate an option just like that. When you're eliminating, you should know why. See, here I'm eliminating B because I know that it's global warming. I'm eliminating C because I know that it's ocean acidification. I'm eliminating D. I'm having A and D. I have a problem with A and D. I don't know which is the right answer. So I'm coming to the question again. It is related to carbon fertilization. So here they are talking about climate change. They are talking about climate change in carbon dioxide. But here there is a term fertilization. Fertilization means related to growth or reproduction. So related to growth or reproduction, here are they talking about any increased in population or something? No. But here they are talking about increased plant growth. So the statement should be A. Now do you understand why I came to the conclusion to this question? This is how you should you should come to the conclusion related to your answer. I'm not just choosing an answer based on something, some trick. I'm having a backup, the basic knowledge of everything. You should have the basics of everything. Basics is most important. Fine. So now do you understand? Question gives you the answer, guys. Read the question again and again. That is how you get the answer. Clear? Shall we go to the next questions? Yes, am I clear, guys? Okay, fine. Okay, next. See, this was a very beautiful question here. They gave question for half a page, not actually more than half a page, and they wanted the option will be like very small. They answered it very big. So these kind of question can I answer? Number one, it's a basic question, guys. Okay, number one, in science and technology, they ask questions from science. I told you they ask you basics and they ask you current affairs. Technology, how do they ask you? They ask you most used technology, number one. Number two, technology which has economic potential. Number three, they have environmental potential, environmentally sound or environmentally destructive. They ask both. So economically good and economically bad, environmentally good, environmentally bad, and then number fourth, socially good and socially bad. Fine. So a technology which is fascinated, which is which everyone needs. They asked about VoLTE ones. Okay, Volt, VoLTE, LTE ones, and then they asked about VR and AR. Yes, virtual reality and augmented reality. These are all like they are mostly used. Everybody want them. They have economic potential. Okay, they have environmental potential. This VR and AR have social influence. So when you go into VR and AR, you forget about the surroundings and you get totally immersed in that. And many people have even started addicted. That is why that question came. So this question is clearly related to Internet of Things. Okay, so this question they ask about, when the alarm of your smartphone rings in the morning, you wake up and tap it to stop. Today we have all this Internet of Things kind of technology which is coming up, and many have started using it already. Okay, related to some internet, you can voice control it, and then all these concepts. So think about it. Whenever there is a question from technology, so it will be like most used. So what you are using mostly now? Bluetooth. Everybody use. See, I'm using a Bluetooth headset. So you should know about basics of Bluetooth. And then I'm using a everybody have mobile phone. So in that mobile phone, now they're talking about 5G. So 5G, and then so initially they asked about 4G and 3G. Now they might ask you about 5G, and then about what else? What are the other technology? Gaming technology. Now games have become very common. So video games related questions can come. So a technology, so science and technology, I'm dividing science and technology separately. Science, they ask about basic concepts of science and current affairs. Current affairs also they ask the basics only. Coming to technology, they asked most technology, and that technology should have an economic, environment, and social potential. Then that question comes in the UPSC. So when one of the most important concepts, strategy to approach question paper, and second most important concept is potential questions. When you are studying itself, you should be able to find out the potential questions. These two things, if you are doing, you crack the prelims with a massive mark. Okay, fine. So this is like basic question. So it is not broader gateway protocol. And then it was Internet of Things, basic question, and it's a current affair based question. Internet of Things at that time was a very big emerging technology. Today also it's an emerging technology, but 2018 year it was very much. Okay, next question. With reference to solar power production in India, see, solar power production, very important thing to India, because every year question comes from energy. Clear? You get questions from environment, ecology, and you definitely get questions from energy, because for any developing country, energy is a very important resource. So without energy, nothing can be done. So we always try searching for energy. In that, solar power production is one of the most important concept, because International Solar Alliance is one of the initiative of India. That too, International Solar Alliance have sunshine countries. Sunshine countries are nothing but the tropic country where the sun shines throughout the year. That's called as sunshine countries. So coming to this, with reference to solar power production in India, consider the following statement. It is the question. India is the third largest in the world in the manufacture of silicon wafer used in photovoltaic units. Okay. The solar power tariffs are determined by the Solar Energy Corporation of India. Okay. So while seeing the answer is neither one nor two. Why? I'll tell you. Fine. See here. Fine. See here. See, power tariffs. So it can be out of any it can be out of any resource. The power tariffs not be determined by the Solar Energy Corporation of India, determined by governmental unit which determines the amount. Okay, it is not the answer. And then coming to India as the third largest. See, Solar Energy Corporation of India works including thermal installations of water, air heating, etc. But they do not, work on the concept of giving the power tariff system. Fine. And then India is not the third, because India is not the third in the world's manufacturing of silicon wafer. We are actually importing. That is one of the major problem, because in terms of India, why we are not able to adopt to solar power production is that it's costly, since we are importing. If we are third in the world, why should we import it? Do you understand? Fine. So next, the staple commodity. See, this question is very important. I'll tell you how. See this. The staple commodities of export by the English East India Company from Bengal in the middle of 18th century were. The question has staple. Staple commodity means which has very less shelf life, and also like what can you say? It is not having much shelf life, and one more thing is it is easily consumable by people, kind of things, especially the shelf life less. So coming to this, the staple commodities of export by the English East India Company from Bengal in the middle of 18th century were. So if you talk about staple, you can eliminate option B and C readily, because zinc, lead, gold, silver, copper, they are all not staples. Sugar can be a staple, salt can be a staple, spices and tea are okay, but zinc, lead, copper, gold are all not staples. So you are readily eliminating this. Fine. Next. Here, raw cotton, oil seeds and opium, cotton, silk, saltpeter and opium. So this is what they are asking. Okay. So the answer is cotton, silk, saltpeter and opium, because that time silk, cotton and opium were all like exported by English very fastly. Okay. Silk was exported from India and China. Then China became very famous and the complete concentration went to China. But silver, gold, zinc, lead and all are metals which you can't call it a staple concept. Okay, they don't, clearly they have a very shelf life. But staples are something you get from agriculture, and the shelf life is also very less. So in that concept, you get the option D. Okay, you get A and D. So there will be a problem between A and D. In that concept, oil seeds are not that much exporting, but we were exporting silk, opium. That opium, silk, cotton were all very famous. So in that concept, option D is right. Okay, yes. See here, chiefly consisted of cotton, opium, indigo. See, 19th century we had cotton, opium, indigo. In 1750s, fine cotton and silk was exported from India to Europe, Asia and Africa, while the second quarter of 19th century, cotton, opium and indigo, because silk went to China. Okay, the British East India Company started exporting silk from China. China silk became very famous, and India became very important for cotton, opium and indigo. Okay, here they are asking question in the middle of 18th century. So middle of 18th century means 1750 is the middle of 18th century. Clear? Yes. See, coming to history based questions don't try to go to the fact I'm telling you this, everyone will commit a mistake of. You will be studying in history many facts. So in terms of historical facts, number one, you should be able to find out what year trying to talk about. Okay, what range of year, not exactly the year at least. They're talking about 1750s to 60s or 1740s to 1740 to 1760. So this time, since they are asking about middle of 18th century, it should be around 1750 only. Okay, number one. Number two, they are talking about staple commodities. So this term, it is not related to history, but generally what does staple mean, which has less shelf life. So salt, zinc, lead, silver, gold and all you can't call it as staples commodities. So you can eliminate them. And then you can come to option A and D. In that, we know very well, when we studied in history, oil seeds we did not export. Oil seeds like they had, that is different concept. But obviously cotton, silk and opium was exported from our country. We know how opium was very important. So silk was also exported from our country, and I'm coming to the answer. Clear? Yes. See, Prasad, industrialization is a general concept. but we are talking about India. Okay, in India, oil seeds were not exported. Okay, salt was exported from our country, but oil seeds were not exported from our country. Okay, so that is what I'm telling you. Have you ever heard about this export of oil seeds? No. Export generally by British, you can talk about oil seeds, everything, but here they are talking about from Bengal and especially India. So in that concept, I can only come to conclusion based on cotton, silk, saltpeter, and opium. Okay, yes. So even though I don't know about saltpeter exactly, I can come to conclusion based on this cotton, silk, and opium. Here, oil seeds is something questionable. India is not the base for oil seed. Okay, oil seeds were exported from various other countries. Okay, yes. Okay. Okay. If so, I will, I will explain it again. I will just check and explain it again. Okay, if, about this oil seeds concept. Okay, yes. Yes, Krishna, we will have mains answer writing session after this preliminary examination. When we start the preparation for mains, we will definitely discuss about it. Okay, yes. Coming to this, with the following is a, see this question, very significant aspect of Champaran Satyagraha. Okay, so when Gandhiji came to India in 1915, but he just went around our country and learnt about our country, but his political impact started from 1917 only. In that, one of the important concept is Champaran Satyagraha. So let's see. Active all participation of lawyers, students, and women in the national movement. They're talking about Champaran Satyagraha. Keep that in mind. Active involvement of Dalit tribal communities of India in the national movement. First of all, Champaran Satyagraha was not a national movement at all. Keep that in mind. Okay. Joining of peasants unrest to India's national movement. Drastic decrease in the cultivation of plantation crops and commercial crops. Okay, so this is the question. See, active volunteer participation of lawyers, students, and women. No, this is different. This happened in non-cooperation movement, in which lawyers, didn't go to the court, students didn't go to the school, women also came to the roads and they worked for Swadeshi, and then all these things. So here the answer is C, because the peasant unrest happened because of indigo cultivation. So what happened in this? This failing of indigo cultivation took place because of forced cultivation of indigo. Many people were forced to cultivate indigo, and the need for indigo started decreasing because of the increase in demand for the synthetic dyes. So because of that, what happened? Many peasants started losing the income, but still British wanted to, levy more taxes on them. This is the basic of Champaran Satyagraha. So in that concept, what happened after Gandhiji came into the Champaran Satyagraha? What happened? Many people, the peasants, started gaining more power. They believed in Gandhiji. They had a very good opinion about Gandhiji. They started following Gandhiji. So that led to the joining of peasant address to the national movement. That is what is the significance of Champaran Satyagraha. This is about non-cooperation movement, and Dalit and tribal communities had no relationship with Champaran Satyagraha. Champaran Satyagraha was clearly related to peasant cultivators and peasants. So here, drastic decrease in cultivation of plantation crops and commercial crops. See, they're asking about very significant aspect. Okay, this might be an answer because indigo cultivation comes under the concept of commercial crops. They're not food crops, commercial crops. So you might get confused between these two. But since they are asking about very significant aspect, you should only write answer C. Okay, that is why I underlined first itself. There is a key word in the question. Their very significant aspect means they are asking the direct, they are asking about the direct effect. In that, joining of peasant address to India's national movement will be the correct answer. Clear? Next. See this. Who among the following were the founders of Hind Mazdoor Sabha established in 1948? Fine. So this is the question. So here the answer is D. Ashok Mehta, T.S. Ramanujam, G.G. Mehta. This is the answer. Sometimes certain question comes UPSC examination which is clearly based on fact. Sometimes you might have studied that fact. I told you out of 90, 100 questions, 10 questions are very tough that, very people can answer it. This is one such question. These kind of questions either they take from current affairs, something related to one of those people should have come in current affairs, or from NCRT or some sources, mostly NCRT. So if you're very thorough with NCRT or very keen in current affairs, you might answer this. Fine. So Hindu Mazdoor Sabha was found in Howrah, West Bengal in 1948 by socialist, forward bloc followers and independent unionists. It was found by, Basawan Singh, Ashok Mehta, Ruikar Manibenkara, Shibna Banerjee, Kedikar, Ramanujar, Mathur, Mehta, etc. So it's like you have to know the current affairs to answer this. These kind of questions, don't do guesswork. I'll tell you. It's like, these questions are like, unless you clearly know the answer, don't do the guesswork. It will definitely create a problem because it is in 1948, it's related to post independence. You get it? 1947 only we study about history. Many people don't even know that it's related to post-independence, and you should be very clever enough to answer these kind of questions. So don't fall into traps related to these questions. Clear? So we'll go to the next question. With reference to the religious practices in India, Stanakwasi sect belongs to. Okay, Stanakwasi sect belongs to. Fine. So this is coming to ancient history, ancient and medieval. How is the question comes? So I am dividing ancient medieval in two types. One is art and culture and administration. Fine, art and culture and administration. And above all these, chronology is the basics. Okay, chronology is the basics. So art and culture, administration, chronology is the basic for all the history, all the three divisions of history. So chronology is different concept. So art and culture and administration, religion plays a very major role. From religion, at least one question comes every year. So initially they were asking question from Buddhism and Jainism only, but now they're asking question from Vaishnavism, Shaivism also. So you should know the basics. And one more thing, Stanakwasi. So to the sects belong to Buddhism, we know what are all the sects belonging to Buddhism. Okay, we Hinayana Buddhism, and then we talk about Theravada Buddhism. So what you should do is, in Buddhism and Jainism, you should be very thorough about at least one of these religious sects. You understand? Either Buddhism or Jainism, you should be very much thorough about one of these sects. Vaishnavism and Saivism, you see about Vaishnavism, Saivism. Mostly the names come in the terms of Sanskrit. Mostly the name comes in the terms of Sanskrit. So Stanakwasi is not clearly about Sanskrit, maybe some other language. So in that, Buddhism and Jainism, I know Theravada Buddhism, Hinayana, Mahayana, and then all these things. So it must be Jainism. You understand? But in Stanakwasi is a sect of Svetambara Jainism. Svetambaras are the people who came to south. Okay, so people who came to south, and they were called as Svetambaras because they wore white colored dress. That is a concept. Okay, so what you can do is, in terms of in terms of this Buddhism and Jainism, you should be thorough about either one of those, either Buddhism or Jainism. At least both, if you are very thorough, well and good, or at least be very thorough Buddhism and Jainism. Either one. Okay, sect is most important question again and again asked. Buddhism, Jainism. Okay, Vaishnavism, Saivism is mostly related to ideologies. So that is different. They talk about people, individuals. From Vaishnavism, Saivism, but Buddhism and Jainism, they talk about this divisions, ideologies, and then they talk about Buddha and Mahavir. Okay, so here they don't talk about the founder as such, but Buddhism and Jainism, they talk about the founders, Tirthankaras, Buddha, fine kind of questions. So this question is again the basics of ancient India, and that too I told you the religion and culture part. Okay, so please be very thorough about the basics of this art and culture. You get information related to this, don't worry. It's not like some information which we never know and all. Okay, see this. Okay, yes. Next. With reference to cultural history of India, consider the following statement. This is art and culture question. Initially, we did not divide history and art and culture, but now there has been a clear-cut difference between art and culture and history. Why? Art and culture is very important for tourism industry also. So now India is a country which is depending upon service sector. Tourism comes under service sector. Art and culture is gaining more position, gaining more importance in terms of our UPSC questions. So that is why art and culture is gaining more importance. Clear? I told you already, every question in the UPSC examination is having a meaning behind it, and this is one such question. So white marble was used in Bulan Darwaza and Kankha at Tepur Sikri. Okay. Red sandstone and marble was used in making Bara Imam Bara and Rumi Darwaza at Lucknow. Fine. So these are the two questions, two statements they have given you. So in terms of art and culture, I'll tell you one important tip that many people miss. When you are studying an art and culture based concept, you are studying about Bulan Darwaza, definitely you should see the picture, colorful picture of that particular place. Do you understand? You should definitely go to Google, or you should definitely go to, you have a book also, the colorful picture is also present, no problem at all. I want you to look at the picture. If it is a painting, look at the painting. Go and search Google. If you don't have the picture in your hand, go and search Google. From today, it's okay whatever you have done till today. From today, you're studying about any art and culture thing, you're studying about something, it will not come into your mind, Bulan Darwaza is built like that. It won't work like that. I want you to open the picture, Google image and look at it. Only then it will help. Why I will tell you? Because here Bulan Darwaza at the Fatehpur Sikri is the most iconic architectural accomplishment of Akbar. It incorporates most of the essential resources because the tradition had red sandstone, stone carvings, relief by inserting white marble, etc. So what happens? They will build it based on red sandstone, and then they will insert white marbles. Okay, so if you see that, in the dome and all, you will be seeing all these kind of concepts. Fine. So Bulan Darwaza is influenced by this Taimurid architecture. So see, this white marble was used. They did not tell you that it was constructed using white marble alone. They said white marble was used. So the first statement is right. Red sandstone and marble was used in making Mara Imabara. So coming to that, what happens? The local masons used brick with small size and thickness to form remarkably fine details on the walls of column surfaces. So here they did not use, see this, instead of stones and marble, big brick and lime were used. Okay, along with this Humayun tombs. So that is why it is very, very important. Clear? So the second statement is wrong. The first statement is right. So the answer is one only. Clear? So that is why I'm telling you, any question related to architecture, I want you to go to the picture. You go and look at the picture and study. Only then it will help you. Clear? Fine. Next. Which of the following travelers elaborately discussed about diamonds and diamond mines of India? Okay. So discussed about diamonds and diamond mines of India. Okay. So the answer is B. Jean-Baptiste Tavernier. So why this person has come? So Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, 1605 to 1689, was a 17th century French germ merchant and traveler. So he was a private individual and merchant traveling at his own expense, covered by his own account, 60,000 leagues in making 6 voyages to Persia and India between the years 1630 to 1668. Again, a fact-based question. So these kind of questions are like you should have studied. Okay, so only then you know. So don't worry, you can go and find the list of foreign travelers. you have that concept, just go and find list of foreign travelers. So coming to list of foreign travelers, what you should know about them, you should know their name, their time period, contemporaries, contemporary ruler, contemporary, what is their major work, what did they speak about, what did they mention about in their work. These four things you have to know about the most important travelers. So whenever you study about a foreign traveler, you should know the name of the traveler, you should know the time period of the traveler, you should know the contrary period. So if we are talking about this traveler, who was the ruler at that time and what was his major work. Okay, see, the major work was only asked here. Who spoke about diamonds and diamond mines of India. So travelers, there is no other way, you have to know all these 4 points about any foreign travel. Okay, yes. See about Tavernier, so he is related to escape persecution, so protection of French Protestant, that person is different. So he wrote the in a book written by Ball Valentine, the travelers in India were Jean-Baptiste Tavernier. He clearly states that he identified the diamond mining sites in India very clearly. Okay, yes. See, that's what I'm telling you. In that particular year, it is not like relevant. They asked you about foreign travel. It is a basic. It's not related to current affair. It's a basic question related to foreign travelers. Foreign traveler is one of the important concept when it comes to this history. Okay, mainly ancient and medieval history. They ask about foreign travelers. Fine. It's not based on the current affair or that particular year relevant. It is a basic question. It is a static kind of question. Okay. Next. With reference to Indian history, who among the following is a future Buddha yet to come to save the world? Okay, so this question is like Maitreya. According to Buddhist tradition, Maitreya is a bodhisattva who will appear on earth in the future, achieve complete enlightenment, and teach pure dharma. So it's a basic, again, a basic Buddhism question. According to scriptures, Maitreya will be successor to present Buddha, Gautama Buddha, also known as Sakyamuni Buddha. Okay, so this is the question. So these people, Avalokiteshvara, Lokeshvara, Padmapal have come. Here they are asking about yet to come to save the world. So Maitreya alone did not come to save the did not come to the world yet. All the other three were said to have already come to the earth, said have already have been in earth already in the Buddhist tradition. But Maitreya is someone yet to come. Okay, so it is also the basic question. Coming to this, which one of the following statement does not apply? Does not apply to the system of subsidiary alliance introduced by Lord Wellesley. This is very important. So this is one keyword. Subsidiary alliance is the second keyword. So these two questions we are going to see. To maintain a large standing army at other expense, obviously this is the subsidiary alliance. To keep India safe from Napoleonic danger, okay. To secure a fixed income for the company, to establish British paramountcy over the Indian states. So obviously the first statement is correct, so wrong. So at that time, Napoleonic danger, okay. See, to keep India safe from Napoleonic danger was not the explicitly said, okay, not explicitly mentioned reason, but to secure fixed income for the company, yes, that was one of the major reason. And to this is like indirect method to establish British paramountcy. So what was subsidiary alliance? So they actually literally forced everyone to sign the subsidiary alliance. Who did not sign the subsidiary alliance? Then they waged war on them. Tipu Sultan is one best example where subsidiary alliance was forced and he did not sign it, and Wellesley in the fourth Anglo-Mysore war killed Tipu Sultan. Okay, but to secure a fixed income for the company, yes. So what happened? A large standing army should be placed. So what they give the term was to secure them, to protect them from the enemies. But Napoleonic danger they did not mention. Okay, to secure the fixed income, yes. And how British paramountcy is that they gave the term, I mean, they started insisting that they are going to, we are more weak. So they made us believe that they made us, they forced us to do that. And second thing what they did was, one is standing army, and second thing was one representative from Britain, one representative from British East India Company should be inside the court of that particular ruler. So why that person was there? Because this person will ensure that they don't have alliance with some other French or Portuguese or any other European power, such that they can completely control that particular territory. That is what their major idea. This large standing army was not actually to protect them; it is to control them. So when it comes to, does not apply to the system of subsidiary alliance. Napoleonic danger was a different concept that British had in mind, but the Indian rulers did not have the Napoleonic danger in their mind. So this concept will not come as the answer. Okay, so here you have to know the very good understanding of what is subsidiary alliance, then you can answer this. Fine. See, it is called as non-intervention policy. That is, we will not interfere in your local affairs, but we will give our army, and we will have a representative. That representative will remain silent. Okay? Yes. Yes. See, British, that is what I'm telling you. British felt about Napoleonic danger. That too, in terms of one of the major reason why they killed Tipu Sultan was the Napoleonic danger, because Tipu Sultan had secret letter service with Napoleon. But here they're asking about the subsidiary alliance. They're not asking about the British. In subsidiary alliance, they did not have this any ideology of this. One of the basic what to say feature of subsidiary alliance was not Napoleonic danger. Okay, the basic reason for subsidiary alliance is to indirectly control the Indian princely states and spread British paramountcy, and also maintaining a large British army at the expense of Indian princes. Fine. Yes. Next. Okay. Consider the following statements. In the first Lok Sabha, the single largest party in the opposition was the Swatantra Party. Fine. In the Lok Sabha, a leader of opposition was recognized for the first time in 1969. In Lok Sabha, if a party does not have a minimum of 75 members, its leader cannot be recognized as the leader of opposition. Which of the following statement is correct? Okay. So the answer is 2 only. I will tell you why the answer is 2 only. Okay. Fine. See, in the first Lok Sabha, the single largest party in the opposition was Swatantra Party. I will tell you why. What happened in the general election of 1951, elected the first Lok Sabha since India became independent in August 1947. Until the point, the Indian Constituent Assembly has served an interim legislature. So what happens is that, okay, so this was over 4 times as many votes as the second largest party. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first democratically elected prime minister. In first Lok Sabha polls held in 1951, India had around 173 million voters out of overall population of 360, and there was no opposition party because no single largest party had managed to cross even 20 seats. Because Indian National Congress was very powerful in the till the first election. They're talking about the first Lok Sabha. Keep this in mind. In the first Lok Sabha, Indian National Congress has gained the majority, that there is no opposition party at all, because even 20 seats was not gained by any other party. Fine. So that is why there was no, in the first statement itself is wrong, because there was no single largest party that can come as the opposition. So in that statement, if you are eliminating one, you can eliminate two options. Coming to the third option, in Lok Sabha, if a party does not have a minimum of 75 members, okay, what is the criteria of becoming the 75 members? It is not that 75 members, it is the second largest party. First largest party will rule. Okay, the second largest party will become the opposition. That is the rule. It is not like 75 is not the criteria. Okay, so this is a polity based question. So this question is a compilation of post independence consolidation and polity. So in that statement, third statement also I'm eliminating. So the answer is 2 only. I'm eliminating this also. Clear? So if I eliminate third option itself initially, I can get the answer, or you can eliminate the first and third. It can be from your point of view. Okay? Yes. Next. Fine. So this question, many people, got confused because, generally when you talk about desert areas, we know about hard and waxy leaves. We know about thorns instead of leaves. Fine. Because when you see cactus, we know about hard and waxy leaves, and we know about thorns instead of leaves, but many got confused based on these tiny leaves. See, generally what is a modification in terms of desert is that transpiration rate should be less. Transpiration should be less. So if transpiration should be less, the surface area of leaf should be less. So in that statement, tiny leaves also will come as the answer. Answer is 1, 2 and 3. Clear? See, hard and waxy leaves, tiny leaves, thorns instead of leaves. So xerophytes have, the desert plants are nothing but xerophytes. Xerophytes have all these three things. Many people confused with tiny leaves, but still tiny leaves is also one of the important leaf modification because it reduces the transpiration rate. Clear? Yes. So here all the three are answered. So it is a basic science question. Xerophyte is a basic science question. Sometimes we overthink and we commit a mistake. The main thing in desert plant is to reduce the transpiration. So how can you reduce the transpiration? Is reducing the surface area. So by reducing the surface area, tiny leaves and thorns instead of leaves will come as the answer. Hard and waxy leaf, what happens? They cover the they cover the stomata, they cover the pores. So the water content is held inside without getting evaporated outside. So all the three are the answer. Clear? Next question. As per NSSO, so 70th round situation assessment survey of agricultural households, consider the following statement. Rajasthan has the highest percentage share of agricultural households among its rural households. One of the total agricultural household is in the country, a little over 60% belongs to OBCs. In Kerala, a little over 60% of agricultural households reported to have received maximum income from the sources other than agricultural activities. Fine. So this is the statement. So the answer is, they are asking, okay, 1 second guys. Fine. So here what is the answer is that, see, the situation survey was conducted and the survey also had this. So what happened? See, the major states except Kerala were 60, sorry. Yes. So the major states except Kerala where 61% of agricultural households reported to have major maximum income from sources other than agriculture. See, except Kerala, that is what they have had you here. See, in Kerala, a little over 60%. See, only except in Kerala, every other major states had agricultural households. So the third statement is wrong. Fine. Next. About 16% of agricultural households were from scheduled caste and 13% from scheduled tribes, and only 45% belong to the other backward classes. Sometimes UPSC asks questions from numbers like this, and these kind of questions we cannot actually eliminate. Till now I have told you two questions like that. So this is one such question. Here you cannot, use your, thing unless and until you know the fact. Because, 45% belong to OBC, 60% and 45% is like a very close number. So yes, so this kind of questions you have to really, really think. And coming to this, Rajasthan has the highest percentage share of agricultural household among among this rural household. So coming to that, that is also questioned here. Okay, yes. National Green Tribunal, very, very important. So this question, I don't know how many of you have answered it. I don't know how many of you can attempt this question properly. I'll tell you the trick here. How is a National Green Tribunal different from Central Pollution Control Board? Okay. See, for now we are coming to the concept of environment and ecology. Fine. So coming to this environment and ecology, just go to my profile, Unacademy profile. I have discussed about important data to remember in environment. Just watch that and come, you can answer this question. I'll tell you how. See, NGT has been established by an act where CPCB has been created by an executive order. Wrong. Central Pollution Control Board was created by Water Act, which is also a parliamentary act. So both National Green Tribunal and Central Pollution Control Board are statutory bodies. You can eliminate the first statement readily. Fine, do you understand? See, National Green Tribunal was also created by National Green Tribunal Act of 2010. CPCB Water Act of 1971. Okay, so both these statements, the statement is wrong because CBCB was also created by an by an act, parliamentary act. The first statement is wrong. The NGT provides environmental justice and help reduce the burden of litigation in higher courts, whereas CBCB promotes the cleanliness of streams, wells, and aims to improve the quality of air. This is right. The function of CBCB is to maintain the cleanliness. They have power to enter into any place in the country to check the quality of water and check the quality of air. Okay, it can be government, private place, any place. The Central Pollution Control Board takes care of both water pollution and air pollution, and it also takes care of noise pollution. Do you understand? So that is one thing we never know. So the answer is 2 only because the first statement, if you know how CBCB is formed, Central Pollution Control Board comes under Water Act and National Green Tribunal comes under National Green Tribunal Act of 2010. So the answer is 2 only. Just you should know what is Water Act, what is NGT, all these things. Clear? And you can come to the answer. This is right. NGT, the function of NGT and the function of CBCB is right. Clear? Yes. See this, sorry, 1971 I told you, it's 1974. 1974 and 1981. Okay, yes. Next, consider the following statements. Parliament of India can place a particular law in the 9th schedule of Indian Constitution. Okay. The validity of a law placed in 9th schedule cannot be questioned by any court and no judgment cannot be made on it. This is the question of judicial review. Okay, so this once came under a Parliament Amendment Act, but what happened after that? The Supreme Court struck down the statement saying that judicial review is a basic structure. Okay, so in the YouTube channel, in the same YouTube channel, go to my go to my videos. In one video, I have discussed about constitutional amendment and basic structure in a single video. Definitely I want you to watch that video because I have clearly mentioned about what is Constitutional Amendment Act, what is basic structure. In basic structure concept, I have given you certain list of cases. In that, one of the case is related to this where Parliament actually tried to do this. Parliament brought a Constitutional Amendment Act. If I'm not wrong, it is 25th Constitutional Amendment Act. What happened? It came, Constitutional Amendment Act came according to this. But Supreme Court struck it down saying that judicial review is a basic structure and Parliament do not have power to curtail judicial review or completely remove judicial review. The second statement is wrong. See this, it cannot be questioned in any court or no judgment cannot be made is wrong. Judicial review is so powerful in our country and this kind of statement cannot be, see, any law will come under judicial review. So if you see any law, constitutionality of law under judicial review is a must. That cannot be curtailed by anyone. Okay, so here the answer is 1 only. The second statement is completely wrong because you should know about Constitutional Amendment Act and basic structure. Please go and watch that video. That video is not beyond 1 hour. Okay, in that, especially the basic structure part, you should definitely watch. I have given you certain important cases and have given you important examples. What were the steps that the basic structure took its, the present day's, shape. Okay, so please do go and watch that video. So here, I know very well that every law comes under the concept of judicial review. This is like examined by any court and judgment made is simply judicial review. So judicial review has power to question any law based on its constitutionality. The first statement is right. Parliament can place a particular law in 9th schedule. Parliament has that power. But the second statement is wrong because Parliament do not have the power to curtail any law or prevent any law coming under judicial review. The answer is one only. Fine. In terms of polity, general concepts are very important. The basic understanding of general concepts are very, 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 very important. Clear? I'm not talking about anything else. I know very clearly that what is the power of judicial review. I'm readily eliminating. I don't want to know about 9th schedule. Clearly, any law the term law, any law will come under judicial review. That's all. Actually, there is a story behind it also. There is a reason behind it also. Parliament tried to do that. Whatever law which is coming under 9th schedule cannot question in the court, but Supreme Court, using the judicial review itself, struck it down. Okay, next. So that time, this merchant discount rate was, current affair at that time. Okay, so this question is clearly a current affair. So, and one more thing I would like to tell you, every year you get at least one question based on schedules. Very important. Every year you get question based on schedules. It's very important you know about the schedules. 12 schedules. So please be very clear about those 12 schedules. Okay, what are those 12 schedules related to are very, very important. Clear? Yes. Which one of the following best describes the term merchant discount rate? So this was the current affair at that year. So the incentive given by a bank to a merchant for accepting payments through debit cards pertaining to that bank, the amount paid back by banks to their customers when they use debit cards for financial transactions for purchasing goods or services, the charge to a merchant by a bank for accepting payments from his customers to the bank's debit cards, the incentive given by the government to merchants for promoting digital payments by the customers through the point of sale machines and the debit cards. Okay, the answer is C. The charge to a merchant by a bank for accepting payments from his customers through the bank's debit cards. It was a current affair. Generally, if you see the charge to a merchant by a bank, you call it as merchant discount rate, but it is talking about the money charged from the merchant. Okay, so this question was a clear current affair at that year. Fine. So certain questions come from current affair and you should be clear about what is the concept in that current affair. That time digital payments were becoming very famous. After this demonetization, digital payments become very famous, and one such payment is that promotion of POs. So in that, what is this merchant discount rate is what is this concept? Okay, next. What is the consequences or consequence of a country becoming the member of nuclear suppliers group? So nuclear suppliers group. So this is very important current affair because India wants to become nuclear supplier group, but there is a condition that non-proliferation treaty should be signed to become a number of nuclear supplier group. But India is, refusing to sign this non-proliferation treaty. So many countries are supporting India that it's okay if India do not sign the non-proliferation treaty. They should come into. I'm talking about this simple thing, basic thing. Okay, nuclear suppliers group. But China and Pakistan, they are opposing. Especially China is saying that if India will come inside, Pakistan also should come inside. Kind of thing is going on. So coming to this nuclear suppliers group, what is this? It will have access to the latest and most efficient nuclear technology, right? First statement is right. But it automatically becomes a member of Treaty of Non-Proliferation Treaty. That is what I told you. That is the major thing, major problem which is going on. Actually, if you sign Non-Proliferation Treaty, you can enter into NSG. It is a reverse, vice versa. But India, we are not signing Non-Proliferation Treaty. That's why it is getting us delay to enter into Nuclear Suppliers Group. So here the answer is A. You should know the basic in terms of international affairs. The basic kind of questions only will be asked. You should know what is happening in the international affairs. This nuclear suppliers group is going on for a very long time, okay, and it will be in the current affair for a very long time. So these kind of things are very important. Why? This nuclear suppliers group is very important for India to become energy efficient. Again, since it is related to energy, this current affair is very important. It's not just an international affair. This is related to energy efficiency and international relations. Okay, here China is also involved. So this becomes a very important current affairs. Clear? Yes. So the second statement is wrong because if you sign NPT, you become a member of NSG. It's not the vice versa. Clear? So I'm coming to this statement one only. Next. With reference to India's decision to levy an equalization tax of 6% on online advertisement services offered by non-resident entities, which of the following statements is or are correct? So here they are talking about this decision to levy an equalization tax of 6% on online advertisement, that too related to non-resident entities. So this is related to that year's current affairs again. So it is introduced as a part of income tax. Non-resident entities that offer advertisement services in India can claim a tax credit in their home country under the double taxation avoidance agreement. See, that year this double taxation avoidance agreement was very important. Why? See, double taxation avoidance is like there is a company or a person who is in one country, who's doing a business in another country. So sometimes what happens, he is paying the tax twice, double burden takes place. So to avoid this, these two countries are signing a double taxation avoidance agreement, so that the person will can pay tax only once, which will prevent his losses. That is what is double taxation avoidance agreement. So this question is related to that only. So here the question is related to online advertisements. So the answer is one only, I mean A only. The government decision to levy an equalization tax of 6% on online advertisement. Okay, yes. So it comes under the part of Income Tax Act, but as a separate legislation under Finance Bill. So if a person in India cannot claim a tax rate in their home country under the double taxation avoidance, so they cannot claim. It's again a current affair at that year. So they cannot claim. That is the main thing. So these kind of things are very importantly noted when you are studying the current affair. Okay, and when you also know about what is double taxation, you can find the answer. Next. FRBM Act. Okay, very important. The Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management FRBM Review Committee has recommended a debt to GDP ratio of 60%, 60% for the general combined government by 2023, comprising 40% for the central government and 20% for the state government. Okay. 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 See, equalization means very simple. Equalization is simply to, level play the field. That is what is the important concept. See here, the government decision to levy an equalization tax of 6% on online advertisement services offered in the country by non-resident entities will impact users, especially the startups that rely almost entirely on the online to popularize their services. This equalization tax is to level play the field. That is a major concept. Okay, it is not very tough concept. That is what is equalization. That they are bringing it under the income tax, but as a separate legislation under the finance bill. Okay, yes. Coming to this. The first statement is okay. The central government has domestic liabilities of 21% of GDP as compared to that of war of GDP of state to governments. As per the Constitution of India, it is mandatory for a state to take central government's consent for raising any loan in the former owes any outstanding liabilities to the later. Okay. See, this FRBM Act is very important. The answer is 1 and 3 only. So in that FRBM Act, we will see the answers. The first statement is right. Okay, the Fiscal Responsibility Committee, the chairperson was N.K. Singh, submitted its report in January 2017. So according to that, they wanted to replace this in FRBM 2003 Act. In that statement, what happened? The Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Committee has reported a debt of GDP ratio 60 percentage. So we have a debt to GDP ratio of 60 percentage. In that, the center is having 40 percentage and states is having 20 percentage. The state is right. It's again a current affair at that year, because that review committee report was released in 2017. We know about FRBM Act, it is related to this 2017 current affair. Okay, yes. So as per the Constitution of India, it is mandatory for the state to take the central government's consent, yes, if the farmer owns any outstanding liabilities to the latter, which means there is a state government and there is a central government. So according to FRBM Act, if the state government is about to raise a loan, okay, if they are raising any loan, and they already have some standing amount to give to central government, any loan that is standing to central government, they should get the permission from central government. Okay, that is the major thing. The second statement is also right. Okay, yes. Next, quantity of imported edible oils is more than the domestic production of edible oils in the last 5 years. These are questions related to economic survey. Fine. So in economic survey, two questions in economic survey, how can I face? There is no other way that you should study the gist of economic survey. In questions related to economic survey, you cannot come to conclusion based answers, because sometimes it can be deceiving. Okay, keep that in mind. Coming to this, the quantity of imported edible oils is more than the domestic production of edible oils in the last 5 years. The government does not impose any customs duty on all the imported edible oils as a special case. Okay, so here the answer is A only, because according to Solvent Extractors Association of India, this also came in the economic survey also, that we are importing more edible oil than we are actually producing in our country. Okay, which includes that has jumped to 45 percentage in the last year, and the government does not impose any customs duty. That is obviously wrong. Okay, so when you are importing, it's not like you cannot impose any custom duty at all, because that will create a problem. Maybe there is a less, if there is any less custom duty, it is right. If there is like it does not impose any custom duty at all, it is wrong. Okay, these kind of statements, in kinds of taxation related statements, it is wrong unless and until you are studying in current affair. So what I tell you always, when you are studying the current affair, please look at these kind of statements. Okay, very rarely you have cancellation of custom tax kind of things. That's very, very rare. Okay, yes, fine. So this question, so again it's a question based on basics of history. So he wrote the biographies of Mazzini, Garibaldi, Shivaji and Sri Krishna, stayed in America for some time and was also elected to the Central Assembly. Who was that? Okay, so in this answer, Lala Lajpat Rai is the answer. So this is again a basic question. You cannot come to the conclusion without knowing the basics. Lala Lajpat Rai was the most prolific writer among his contemporary national leaders. So he wrote the biographies of Mazzini, Garibaldi, Shivaji, Dayanand and Sri Krishna, and he was elected the president of Indian National Congress at Calcutta session. Fine, so that is the answer. Fine. Next, Aadhaar card. So this was one of the most important questions in the in that time, because that year Aadhaar card, Aadhaar card was um, made as a money bill, and it was passed in the parliament. Okay, Aadhaar bill was made the money bill and it was passed in the parliament. So that year that question came in the UPSC. Okay, the reason why Aadhaar card came in the UPSC. See, Aadhaar card can be used as a proof of citizenship or domicile. Wrong. It is just an identity card. It is not a proof of citizenship or domicile. Okay. So next, once issued, Aadhaar number cannot be deactivated or omitted by the issuing authority. Do you think so? Issuing authority will definitely have the power. Okay, so any issuing authority will have the power to eliminate. Fine. So in that statement, the second statement is wrong. First statement is also wrong. It is not the proof of citizenship or domicile. Clear? So here the answer is neither one nor two. It's a very simple question. You should know the basics. Again, Aadhaar is something has become one of the most important identity proof today. Everywhere for this know your customer service, they're demanding Aadhaar to take COVID test, to take Aadhaar was once made mandatory to be linked with bank. So Aadhaar has become one of the most important concept, and we all have most of the people have Aadhaar card, so it is a very important kind of technology also. So it comes under the technology part. So once they ask technology part of Aadhaar, so what are the biometrics taken to receive Aadhaar card, that was also asked. So this has the political, economical, social, technological, all these impacts. So the Aadhaar is one of the most important concept, especially that year it was made money bill and it was passed. So that became one of the important question that year. Okay, next. Next, which of the following have shrunk, immensely dried up in the recent past due to human activities? So that is the question. So RLC, Black Sea, Lake Baikal. So the answer is 1 and 3 only. So Black Sea has not shrunken or dried up. They are asking about shrunken or dried up. So RLC and Lake Baikal was the answer. Black Sea is not the answer. Okay. So this is again current affair and geography based question. Fine. Next. Rule of Law Index is released by which of the following? Fine. So Rule of Law Index, Amnesty International, International Court of Justice, Office of UN Commissioner of Human Rights, World Justice Report. Fine. So the answer is World Justice Project. So International Court of Justice, see here you should know the work. International Court of Justice work is totally different. So they don't take their cases unless the cases come to them. So and then they are not the final authority, like it is not binding also. And then this rule of law index, this rule of law concept is also not universal, like not all the countries are using this rule of law concept. So in that statement, World Justice Project is one of the important answer. And again that year it came in the news. The World Justice Project is an American independent multidisciplinary organization which stated the mission of working to advance the rule of law around the world. It works through 3 programs, so don't worry about it. Reports and reports released, very important. Mostly they ask about, you know, what to say, mostly they asked about, important reports, and rule of law is one important concept about India because India follows rule of law. Clear? So that is why this came in the question paper. Okay. Which one of the following links all the ATMs in India? Very simple. NPCA, National Payments Corporation of India. This NPCA term you can even see in your ATM cards or somewhere in the ATMs if you have noted down. Okay, so that kind of questions is like, this question is like came in current affair also, number one. Sometimes you should look around what is happening around you. So such thing is National Payments Corporation, NPCI. Okay, so this links all the ATMs. Indian Banks Associations, no. National Security Depository, no. Reserve Bank of India, no. So ATMs is connected by National Payments Corporation of India. And coming to this indices, every year there is a question from index and reports, how to remember. See, I will give you a tip related to this indexes and report. So coming to this indexes and report, what you have to do is, you study, I always tell you, minimum data, maximum efficiency. Okay, minimum data, maximum efficiency. How? See, like World Bank's report, and then the World Economic Forum's report, and then kind of important organization which you have studied, which you study, their reports alone, keep it in mind. Number one. Number two, there are some reports which are very important, like related to democracy, related to corruption, that gave a major impact. That can be a question. Number 3, some reports have the meaning, the name of the report and the organization releasing it will have a connection. We will see if we have any question like that. I will tell you. The name of the report and the organization will have some connection. Then that also you can do. Okay, you cannot memorize it. Some people do by having some stories and connecting. That also, if it works for you, you can do. Okay, but there is no what to say. There is no proper trick to remember these indexes and reports. What you can do is you can go to the major organization and memorize those reports. And then reports which is very important. The current affairs what you are studying will give you many list of reports. But you have to find out which of these reports are very important, which of these reports have impact. You study about that. Some private organizations report and all they don't want. But environmentally important, politically important reports are needed. And then reports and organization will have link. That the name of the report and the organization will have a link among themselves. That you can actually find it out. Okay. Next, legal tender money. See this. What does this legal tender money means? The money which is tendered in courts of law to defray the fee of legal cases. The money which is a creditor is under compulsion to accept it in the settlement of claims. The bank of money in form of checks, drafts, bills of exchange, etc. The metallic money in circulation of the currency in the country. So this is a very basic question. Legal tender money. So what is legal tender money means? I tender you the money and you should accept it compulsorily. It is legally compulsory to accept that money in terms of settlement is called as legal tender money. Okay, so that is what is very, very, very important. Clear? So legal tender money is, so the term legal is here. So here you can get, cheated, deceived by this legal term. First statement might deceive you. And then some people get deceived by this bank money in form of checks, drafts, bills of exchange, etc. Also they get deceived. Metallic money in circulation, no. See this you can readily eliminate. Legal tender money is not just metallic money. The money which a creditor is under compulsion to accept in the settlement of his claim. So in terms of legal tender, what is the money that has to be accepted comes under the concept of legal tender money. The answer is B. Okay. Next, this is all basics of economics that you should definitely know. If the commodity is provided free to the public by government, okay, so I will suggest you one book, Day-to-Day Economics. There's a book called as Day-to-Day Economics. So now you might not have time, but it will definitely help you in terms of mains or for so people who are not giving this attempt or next year. Day-to-day economics, they will be beautifully explained all these concepts. So if a commodity is given free to the public by the government. So there is a commodity, it can be any commodity which is given to the public by the government free. So what is the implication? Okay, that's fine. The opportunity cost is zero. Okay. The opportunity cost is zero. Opportunity cost is ignored. Opportunity cost is transferred from the consumers of the product to the tax-paying public. The opportunity cost is transferred from the consumers of the product to the government. Okay, so this is the question. See, if a commodity is provided free to the public by the government, what happens? Opportunity cost is the cost which could have been earned from the second best investment option. For example, I have product A, product B. So what I'm doing, people will go to product A or product B. So I'm having a second best option. So I have another opportunity. So I'm going for another, investment option. That is what is called as opportunity cost. So what happens when the government is giving the product free to the public, then that opportunity cost going from the consumers to the government. The government is paying the opportunity cost and it is giving the product to the public. So that is the answer. Here the opportunity cost is not zero, opportunity cost is not ignored, or it is not transferred to the tax paying public. So tax paying public, like the government is giving it to everyone, free to the public in general. So option C cannot come. Here the opportunity cost is transferred from the consumers to the government. So that is the answer. Fine. So the choice of spending on various alternatives is available with government, not taxpayers. So government only here can choose what product they can to the public, and the opportunity cost goes to the government only here. Okay. Among whatever the investment opportunity, government decides an investment opportunity and they give you only one choice to the public. The public has no opportunity. It can be tax paying or anything. Opportunity cost is there. But here the government has that opportunity cost and it is giving the public only one option. Okay. Yes. Fine. Okay. Yes. So Mr. Prasad has explained it, in a very beautiful form. You can look at that. Okay. So increase in absolute and per capita real GNP do not connote a higher level of economic development. If fine. So increase in absolute and per capita real GNP do not connote a higher level of economic development. Why? Industrial output fails to keep pace with the agricultural output. Agricultural output fails to keep pace with the industrial output. Poverty and unemployment increase. Imports grow faster than exports. Okay. So here, see, there is an increase in absolute and per capita real GNP. Okay. So per capita real GNP, here they are talking about this, the national income. So the national income has increased. See here. See, per capita GNP is the total value of all goods and services produced by a country in a year, which is equal to GNP is equal to GDP net flow income from abroad minus net income from the abroad. So GNP value is more accurate of the economic indicator. Fine. So what happens when there is an increase in GNP? So increase in per capita income are grabbed by a small section of society. The economic growth will not lead to thing. What happens is that the national income increases, the per capita income also increases, but the poverty and unemployment is also increasing. How can you call it as an economic development? What is the concept of economic development? Economic development is increase in economic growth, also increase in the quality of living of people. But here the poverty and employment is increasing. At the same time, per capita real GNP is also increasing. That doesn't mean we call it a higher level of economic development. It can be called as an economic growth, but not economic development. Okay. So when poverty and employment increases, we can't call it. See, imports grow faster than exports. It's a common phenomenon in many countries. This does not have anything related to economic development. This can be related to economic growth. Agricultural output fails to keep pace with industrial output. These two are like general statements. But when you talk about economic development, you talk about money as well as the quality of life of people. So poverty and unemployment also increasing, and the absolute and per capita real GNP is also increasing, which means that there is an increase in national income, but that money is not equally divided. Okay, there is a inequality. So that inequality can be seen when there is high poverty and unemployment increase. Fine. So that is the question. Simple question, a basic question. Don't confuse. The increase in absolute and per capita real GNP, but we cannot call it a higher level of economic income. Why? Because poverty and unemployment is also increasing. Okay, when poverty and unemployment is increasing, we call it as an inequality. Inequality exists, you call it as an economic growth, not economic development. Clear? Yes. This is again a basic economics question. See, in terms of economics, they ask you basic questions. So in terms of economic, what kind of question comes? Basics of economics, very, very, very important. Basics of macroeconomics. Second, current affairs. These two current affairs also they ask about the basics informations. These two only they ask. Since we are not strong about basics of macroeconomics, many people struggle in terms of economic based questions. Do you understand? Do you understand that? See, since we are not clear about the basics of economics, we struggle in economy. So it is very important you know the basics of economics. You should be thorough about the basics of economics. Without basics, it's really tough. Okay? Yes. We'll go to the next question. Consider the following statements. Human capital formation as concept is best explained in the terms. Simple, you're asking about human capital formation. Individuals of a country to accumulate more capital. Okay. Increasing the knowledge, skill levels and capacities of the people of the country. Yes. Accumulation tangible wealth. Accumulation of intangible wealth is the wealth you can feel, you can touch and feel, like money, buildings, all these things. But they are not talking about general capital, they are talking about human capital, intangible wealth. So the answer is 2 and 4 only. Sorry. Fine, fine. So here the question is related to human capital formation. So what is human capital? Human capital means increase in the knowledge, skill levels and capacities of the people. Capacity is both physical and mental capacity. Okay, that is why in human capital human capital concept only we have health also. Okay, so human capital, this intangible wealth is a different concept. I'm really sorry, this will not come on. Answer is only B. This is the definition of human capital itself. See here, the human capital formation indicates the process of acquiring and increasing the number of persons who have skills, education and experience which are critical for the economic and political development of the country. Human capital formation is thus associated with the investment in man and his development as creative and productive resource. Clear? That is what is about this human capital. So human capital includes, yes, right. Human capital includes spending on health, spending on knowledge, education and health. Okay, mainly education and health of people. And sometimes, social capital is also linked with human capital. Okay, the answer is only. See, every year they ask question related to this. Once they ask question related to social capital. 2019 they ask question related to social capital. Okay, so you should clearly know the difference between these types of capitals, human capital, social capital, all these things. Next, despite being a high saving economy, capital formation may not result in significant increase in output due to, that is the question. See, despite being a high saving economy, capital formation may not result in significant increase in the output because, okay, without the availability of adequate capital, either in the form of physical capital or in the form of human capital of nation is not possible. Okay, the higher rate of capital formation, the faster is the phase of economic growth. So what is the question? See, even though we are a high saving economy, capital formation may not result in output due to, see what happens is that we have high capital formation. Okay, so what is the problem with this? See, we are saving economy. We are high saving economy. So what happens sometimes? We do not invest money. So capital is some money which is invested, money or a property or something which is invested and which gives us some output. Okay. So what happens? Sometimes we are not properly investing or sometimes we are not investing at all. So there is a high capital output ratio, the ratio between the capital and the output. Okay, that is capital output ratio. So this is very high. So what happens, even though we have a proper capital, the output, the efficiency is not that good in a country, then we will not have a proper output. Okay, so what capital, you're investing 1000 rupees, you should get a outcome of 1100 at least, but you are getting an outcome of 900 or you are getting only 1000 rupees, the capital output ratio is very poor here. Okay, the difference between the capital and output is very poor here. That is what there is. Higher rate of capital formation, the faster is the phase of economic growth. Saving and investment are essential for capital formation, but savings are different from hoardings. See, we are not just saving, we are hoarding it. That is, we are not utilizing it for the investment purpose. We are just keeping it in the bank, like the gold saved, or and sometimes what happens, we are just keeping money, we are just keeping land, we are investing in land, the land will be there, it won't be used for anything. So that is what is the thing. High capital is there, but for output, are we investing or output are using? No. So there is a difference between this saving and hoarding, which we are not understanding it properly. So in India, that is a very big problem. Wealth accumulation is very high, but is it into the economy, is it into the market, is a very different question. So one such example is this gold sovereign bonds, for which they wanted to bring the gold, saved gold outside and bring it into the circulation. So that is one important example here. Okay. History question: after the Santhal uprising subsided, what was or were the measures taken by the colonial government? Okay. So it is again a basic history question. Territories called Santhal Paraganas was created. It became illegal for Santhal to transfer land non-Santals. Okay, so here the answer is both 1 and 2. Both are right. It's a basic question. Okay, it's both 1 and 2. Both are right. Okay, yes. So when this Santhal revolt took place in 1855 to 56? Okay, so our group of tribals concentrated in the state of Jharkhand. So after that, what happened is very important. Just go and see. It's a basic concept based question. Okay. Economically, one of the results of British rule in India in the 19th century. 19th century is from which to which? Someone? Yes, 18? 1800 to 1899. This is what we call it as 19th century. Okay. So what is the result of British rule in India? Increase in the export of Indian handicrafts. Is it so? Growth in the number of Indian owned factories. Commercialization of Indian agriculture. Rapid increase in the urban population. So these two things can be an answer. But what is the exact answer is C. So what happened? Commercialization of Indian agriculture took place. In the 19th century, this time only indigo cultivation came. Plantation agriculture, plantations, tea plantations, coffee plantations, everything become very important. So they are asking about economically. So this see this also. They are asking about economically. So rapid increase in the urban population is a social concept. You can't call it an economic concept. So from that also I can eliminate. Since they are asking economic concept, obviously they did not support Indian handicrafts. Especially after industrialization, they destroyed the Indian handicrafts. The first statement is wrong. Indian owned factories was reduced. It's not like growth in the number. Mostly British factories only increased. Commercialization of Indian agriculture definitely took place because all these indigo agriculture, plantations, cotton were forcibly cultivated, which resulted in the scarcity of food. That also took place. So the third statement is right. Clear? So how I came to the conclusion? They are asking economically. They are asking about the economic part. The rapid increase in the urban population is not an economic part. It's a social concern. They are talking about the economic concern. Okay, clear? Yes. If the President of India exercises power as provided by the Article 356. So Article 356 is nothing but the President rule of the Constitution in respect of particular state, then what will happen? Very, very, very important. Article 350. The assembly of the state is automatically dissolved. The power of the legislature of that state shall be exercisable by or under the authority of parliament. Article 19 is suspended in that state. The president can make law relating to that state. See, the question is, if the President of India exercises power as provided under the Article 356 in that particular state, then what happens? The powers of the legislature of that state shall be exercised or under the parliament only if the president explains. Okay, so that is one of the important power of the president. Here the assembly will not dissolve, council of ministers only will get dissolved. First is wrong. Article 19 is not suspended in that state. This statement is completely wrong. Okay. And president cannot make law. He will ask the parliament to make law. So the answer is B. Do you understand the statement, how I am coming to the answer? See, the first is the assembly state is automatically dissolved is wrong. The council of ministers only will be resigning from their position. Council of minister will resign from their position. Next, Article 19 is not suspended in that state, okay, unless we have national emergency. In terms of national emergency under Article 352, that particular state comes under national emergency, then Article 19 can be suspended. And the president can make law relating to state. No, the president asks the parliament to take over. The powers of the legislature of that state shall be exercised under the authority of parliament. That will only happen. So option is B. Okay. Yes. See, we have clearly explained two kinds of emergency: national emergency and president's rule. Sometimes we call it a state emergency, but I don't. State emergency will be more appropriate. President's rule or constitutional emergency will be more appropriate. Don't confuse. If there is any question related to constitutional emergency, it is related to state emergency or president rule. Why we call it as constitutional emergency is, when governor, according to his idea, he thinks that the particular state government is violating constitution, then he can in return recommend the president to bring in president's rule. That is why we call it as a constitutional emergency. Okay. Yes. Next, this is related to GA tag. Every year we get questions related to GA tag. Fine. Puthukuli Sajni embroidery, Uppada Jamdani saris. Fine. So here the answer is one only, because Uppada Jamdani sari is related to Andhra. Okay. So here see, Uppada Jamdani saris is related to Andhra Pradesh and Sajni embroidery is related to Bihar. Okay, so this you should know. GA tags are most important. So in terms of GA tag question you will get. Okay, so in terms of GA tags, you should know at least 2 years of GA tags or most famous GA tags. Number 1. Number 2, you should know definitely your state's GA tags. Why you are asking, ma'am, why you are talking about my state's GA tag? You can use it for elimination purpose. Clear? Use it for elimination purpose. Because Uppada, how I know Uppada Jamdani will definitely not answer is, when I was preparing for the UPSC, I mean even now I'm preparing, but starting when I started my preparation process, I was doing a business based on these saris and dwars. So I know very well Uppada sari is a type which came in Andhra Pradesh. So in your life, you don't know what data will help you in which place. So what you have to do is, your state's GA tag you should know, and at least 2 years of what are the GA tags offered. You cannot see all the GA tags, but at least 2 years of GA tags and your state's GA tag is must. So if you know that, you can actually answer, because that Puthukuli shawls, all these were offered on that 2017 year, 2017 to 18 years. So that was asked as the UPSC. Some things are asked again and again. Kadaknath, chicken. So these kind of questions are asked again and again. Those are things you should know. Clear? Yes. GPS technology. So which of the following areas GPS technology is used? Global positioning system. So for global positioning system, obviously we have in mobile phone operations. Yes. Banking operations, ATMs. Do we have GPS or not? Global positioning system. Obviously you can find out a nearby ATM. You go and find out in map nearby ATM. Are you finding it or not? Yes. Fine. So controlling the power grids, which power grid is, I should switch it on, switch it off, automatic control from one place, online control. So option is all the above. See, if someone is saying you in science and technology, mostly answer is all the above. Don't go for that thing I'm telling you. Think and answer. See, how I came to this banking operations, I'm just searching my Google map. Nearby ATM. Are you finding the nearby ATM or not? For banking operations, you're using GPS. Yes. For transferring of money, IFSC code, all these things you can use GPS. Controlling the power grids, from which place you, the controlling of power grids from the station, nearby station, they are controlling the power grids from which place. Yes. So the answer is all the above. Don't go for lame, tricks like all the above will be on most of the science and technology based question. No. Okay. Yes. The Reserve Bank of India manages and services Government of India security, but not any state government security. Treasury bills are issued by the Government of India, and there are no treasury bills issued by the state governments. Treasury bills offers are issued at the discount par value. So this is the question. Fine. So the answer is 2 and 3 only. Okay. So they are asked about which of the following above is correct. The Reserve Bank of India manages and services Government of India security, also state government security. I'm eliminating option 1. Treasury bills are issued by the Government of India, and there are no treasury bills issued by the state government. See here. Treasury bills and commercial bills. Treasury bills are issued by the central government. Commercial bills are issued by the financial institution. The state government do not have the power to issue treasury bills. Okay. Reserve Bank of India maintain the principal accounts of central as well as state governments as its central account section, Nagpur. Now, treasury bills are issued only by the Government of India, and the discount rates are from the par value. Okay, so what is the basic value? From that they will have the discount rate. Okay, treasury bills are also called as zero risk bills. Okay, because since it is issued by the government, it is having very less risk. So that is why they are called like that. Okay, yes. Okay, yes. State governments do not issue any treasury bills. Interest on the treasury bills is determined by the market forces. Treasury bills are issued on the discount to face value, while the holder gets the face value on maturity. Referring to the value of financial instrument, there is no difference between par value and face value. Fine. This Consider the following statements. Earth magnetic field has reversed every few 100,000 years. Okay. When the Earth was created more than 4,000 million years ago, there was 54% oxygen and no carbon dioxide. When living organism originated, the modified Earth atmosphere of the Earth. Actually, all these statements here are looking like it is correct, but the Earth's magnetic field has reversed a few 100,000 years. That's right. And when living organism originated, modified is right. But coming to this 54% of oxygen, that's not right, because we had water vapor, we had carbon dioxide, nitrogen gas also. Because the carbon dioxide is not only generated by living organism, it is also generated by other reasons also. Okay, it can be released from earth, it can be released to various activities, inorganic activities also. So like volcanoes, and then all these. So the second statement, you cannot say that the earth was having 54% of oxygen, no carbon dioxide. Wrong. The earth had oxygen, the earth had water vapor, and the earth had nitrogen gas. Carbon dioxide was also present, not only oxygen. When later plants came and animals came, the living organisms in general, they changed. Okay, these kind of statements, you cannot come to a conclusion. Okay, yes. The term WannaCry. See, that year WannaCry was very famous. Okay, WannaCry, Petya, Eternal Blue sometimes are cyber attacks. They're all like malwares. That time WannaCry software was very famous. Current affair again. Okay, it's a simple current affair. See here, 2007. Petya and WannaCry cyber attacks in May and June 2017 are two biggest in the history and impacted the finances of company. WannaCry software, what they will do is they'll lock your system and they will demand money to open your system. Okay, so that is the most important concept. With reference to the circumstances in Indian agriculture, the concept of conservation agriculture assumes significance. Which are the following fall under the concept of conservation agriculture? Avoiding monocultural practices, adopting minimum tillage, avoiding the cultivation of plantation crops, using crop residues to cover soil surface, adopt spatial and temporal crop sequencing or crop rotations. So the answer is 1, 3 and 4 only, 2, 3, 4, 5 only, 2, 4, 5 only. 1, 2, 3 and 5 only is the answer. How? Fourth will not come because using crop residue to cover the soil surface will not come under the concept of conservation agriculture. What does conservation agriculture means? You are conserving agriculture. So avoiding monocultural practices obvious. Mixed farming was Mixed farming was mostly encouraged. So while by doing the minimum tillage, not plowing it very deep, by doing the minimum tillage, we try to conserve the fertility of soil. Avoiding the culture of plantation crops, yes. So when we do plantation crops, what happens? It is a form of monoculture only. Plantation is a form of monoculture. So what happens? Fertility of soil is again and again depleted, and it does not result in conservation. And on the other hand, it results in soil erosion and some kind of degradation of soil fertility. Using crop residues to cover the surface will not come under the conservation agriculture. It comes under sustainable agriculture kind of concept. Adopting spatial and temporal crop sequencing and crop rotation is nothing but the what I call that mixed cropping or rotation. Seasonal plantation. So what happens? One year they will plant rice. Next year they will after this 3 or 4 months they will plant legumes, so that the soil will regain its fertility. Okay, so here conservation agriculture, they talk about the soil conservation techniques. Fine. Yes. The term sixth mass extinction or sixth extinction is often mentioned in the news with context of what? It's a very simple question. So sixth mass extinction is directly, you can link it with man's over exploitation, misuse of natural resources, fragmentation, loss of natural habitat, destruction of ecosystem, and climate change, pollution and climate change can be directly linked to this. Okay, so here they have given so much things, but since we are asking sixth mass extinction and extinction, you can, it is not possible collision of meteorite, definitely not right. Okay, so widespread monoculture practices, no, this will not result in extinction. Large scale cultivation of genetically modified crops, no. But mankind's over exploitation, misuse of natural resources will definitely lead to this. Okay, yes. Which of the following led to the introduction of English education in India? Fine. So in terms of this English education in India, the answer is Charter Act of 1813. See, soil conservation is where you try to retain the conservation of soil. Okay, so try to retain the fertility of soil. That is what is called as soil conservation. But coming to agricultural conservation is a different concept. So agricultural conservation is related to the crop maintenance and then proper output of crop productivity, agricultural productivity, you call it as agricultural conservation. So that is what is very important. Okay, this there we saw about all these concepts are related to the crop, agricultural conservation. Fine. Yes. Fine. Which are the following led to the introduction of English education in India? Which are the following led to the introduction of English education in India? Charter Act of 1813, General Committee of Public Instruction 1823, Orientalist and Anglist controversy. See, in terms of this Orientalist and Anglist controversy, they had a controversy, but that did not lead to the introduction of English education, because the conclusion of Orientalist and Anglist was they wanted to bring in their mother language, local language. But in terms of Charter Act of 1813 and General Public Committee instruction, they recommended the usage of English as a language. Okay, clause 43 of Charter Act of 1813. The company had partly taken the responsibility of education in India and sum of 1 lakh rupee have been earmarked for the purpose. And then in terms of 1823, uh, at last in 1823, an official agency, Central Committee of Public Instruction, created to deal with the educational matters. Clear? Next. Artificial lake. So this is Kodaikanal. So these are all Kolleru, Nainital, Renuka are all natural lakes, but Kodaikanal was artificial lake which was created during the British period. So Kodaikanal is one of the most important tourist spot. So the British went to Kodaikanal during the summer. So that is why they've created an artificial lake over there. So it is called as see by Sir Ware Henry. He created this collector of Madurai. He created this lake. Okay. Yes. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. So whenever you see the term Kaushal, it is related to some skill. Okay. So it is a flagship scheme of Ministry of Labor and Employment. It, among others, will also impart training in soft skills, entrepreneurship, financial and digital literacy, right? So second should come. It aims to align the competency of unregulated workforce of the country to national school qualification framework. That's also right. Fine. The answer is C, 2 and 3 only. But since I told you it's related to skill, Ministry of Labor and Employment will not come. Who will come? Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship only will come. Kaushal Vikas Yojana is related to skill, not related to labor. So who will give the skill? Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So these kind of questions, think and answer. Kaushal means related to skill development. Okay, so that Ministry of Labor and Employment will not come. Skill development, we have a separate ministry, so that only will come. Okay, the second statement are right, because under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, they even gave certificates, so that they are bringing the unregulated workforce into the national skill qualification framework. Okay, so under this they gave soft skill, entrepreneurship, financial and digital literacy, etc. It was a current affair at that year. 1920, which changed its name to Swarajya Sabha. Fine, so that is the question. So answer is All India Home Rule League changed into Swarajya Sabha. It's again a fact based question. Fine. Yes. Which among the following events happened earliest? So Swami Dayanand established Arya Samaj, Deen Bandhu Mitra wrote Neel Darban, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay wrote Anand Math, Satyendranath wrote the examination. So here, see this. So Dayananda Saraswati founded Arya Samaj in 1875. Neel Darban was written in 1858 to 1859. And then Anand Math 1882, and then Satyendranath wrote the examination in 1863. Okay, so in that concept, if you see 1859 is the earliest, Deen Bandhu Mitra wrote Neel Darban. It is all you have to know the year based on chronology, simple and chronology. Okay. Heavy sand mining in riverbed. Okay. So decrease in salinity in water, pollution of groundwater, lowering of water table. This is the question. Fine. So the answer is 2 and 3 only. So what happens when there is a increase in sand mining? There will be an increase in salinity, not decrease in salinity. Why? The sand mining will lead to exposure of lower levels of soil which contains high salinity. So what happens? The water will take over that. The water, when exposed to lower levels of soil with high salinity content, there will be an increase in salinity in the river, not decrease in the salinity river. Pollution of groundwater will definitely take place, yes, because the levels of soil is getting reduced. So sometimes the pollutant will start getting seeped into the groundwater also, and lowering of the water table also will take place. So option is 2 and 3 only. Okay. Yes. Agricultural soils, consider the following statement. So with reference to agricultural soils, a high content of organic matter in soil drastically reduces its water holding capacity. Okay. Soil does not play any role in sulfur cycle. Irrigation over a period of time can contribute to salinization of some agricultural lands. Okay. So which of the following statements are correct? So this is the question. Fine. So the answer is high content of organic matter will increase the water holding capacity. That is what I will tell you. Even in terms of desertification process, what happens? When a soil is completely used again and again and again, what happens? There will be a reduction in organic matter. So there will be a reduction of water holding capacity. So what happened? That soil will start becoming infertile and later it will lead to desertification. Soil does not play any role in sulfur cycle is wrong. Soil definitely plays an important role in sulfur cycle. Second statement is also wrong. Irrigation over a period of time can contribute to the salinization of some agricultural lands. True. Okay. So when continuously irrigated, it will lead to the salinization of soil. Fine. Yes. Guys, just take a 5 minutes of break. I'll be back immediately. Just take a 5 minutes of break and stay tuned. We are like doing it for a long time. We have just took. Yes. Let's continue. So the partnership for the action on green economy. Okay. The partnership for the action on green economy. Am I audible? Okay. The partnership for the action on. Yes. Okay. So the Partnership for the Action on Green Economy page, a UN mechanism to assess countries' transition towards greener and more inclusive economies emerged it. Okay, so the Earth Summit on Sustainable Development, United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development 2012 Rio de Janeiro, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change 2015 Paris, the World Sustainable Development Summit 2016 New Delhi. Okay, so here the answer is the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development 2012 Rio de Janeiro, because it was a current affair. Okay, so that year the Partnership for the Action of Green Economy page was launched in 2013 as responsible to the call at to Rio plus 20. Okay, so that was a current affair. So again, you should know about it. Okay, 3D printing has application in preparation of confectionaries, manufacture of bionic ears, automotive industries, reconstructive surgeries, data processing technologies. See here, they're talking about 3D printing. So in terms of 3D printing, the answer is they are used in all the places, because 3D printing is like has become one of the most important technology now, because it is very easy to manufacture something with a more precise and accurate outputs. So they are used in all the above. Okay, data processing technology, they are using to manufacture those data processing equipments. So in that way, all the above is the answer. Okay, yes. The Barren Island volcano is an active volcano located in Indian territory. True. Barren Island lies about 140 km east of Nicobar. Okay. The last time Barren volcano was erupted in 1991 and it has remained inactive since then. Okay, this is the question. So, see here, the Barren Island volcano is true and it erupted in 1991 is true. See, 140 km east of Great Nicobar. See, this is 140 kilometer northeast of Port Blair, not Nicobar Islands, because this barren island lies in the Andaman and Nicobar you have, so it lies near to the Port Blair. That is, Port Blair is in the Andaman concept. It's not Nicobar. Okay, so that is the one important thing. Why is plant called Prosopis juliflora, as mentioned in the news? So that year again it was a current affair. So why it was mentioned in news is it reduces the biodiversity in area which it grows. So that is why it is seen as an invasive species. Every year you get at least one species in news. Species based questions are asked mostly in news. So that year this was very famous because it was an invasive species. Okay, the answer is this. Last year also they asked about Himalayan nettle. Okay, yes. Most of the world's coral reefs are in tropical waters. More than one third of world's coral reef are located in the territory of Australia, Indonesia, Philippines. Coral reefs host more number of animal phyla than those hosted by tropical rainforest. So here all the answer is right. How? Most of the coral reefs are in tropical forests, tropical waters because of the temperature needed. Tropics, the temperature is constant, number one, mostly constant, not perfectly constant, but mostly they are constant, so they are in tropical waters only. And more than one third, yes, the great, the Barrier Reef and around Indonesia and Philippines, one third of the world's coral reefs are present. Coral reefs host, yes, coral reefs are called as the rainforest of ocean. And we should all know one thing, the aquatic ecosystem has more species diversity compared to the terrestrial ecosystem. Though we know the terrestrial ecosystem most, but the truth is aquatic ecosystem has most biodiversity. That's very true that coral reefs have more number of animal phyla compared to the tropical rainforest. Okay, the diversity, the number of animal phyla is very high in terms of coral reefs compared to the tropical rainforest. So all these statements are right. Many people will get confused in the third statement. We think that tropical rainforest is having the tropical rainforest has highest biodiversity, yes. But compared to coral reefs, the coral reefs has the highest number of animal phyla compared to the tropical rainforest by itself. Okay, yes. Momentum for Change, Climate Neutral Now is an initiative launched by. So Momentum for Change, Climate Neutral Now. So here there is a question, initiative. So whenever you see the term initiative, you can readily eliminate IPCC because their work is only to release reports. You should know this very well. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change work is to release report to do research, not doing any initiative. United Nations Environment Program possible, but since we are talking about climate neutral, I think UNFCCC will be the answer. World Meteorological Organization works for, they do not work for climate change, they work for meteorology. Okay, like atmosphere quality, content, all these things. But UNFCCC Secretariat only does these kind of climate change related functions. So once someone asked me, ma'am, how can you remember these kind of, see how I eliminated. I knew very well that IPCC will only work on reports. So the answer should be either UNEP or UNFCCC. World Meteorological Organization, I know very sure because climate neutral, World Meteorological Organization do work for meteorological related concept, weather condition, climatic condition, not based on climate change. But UNEP or UNFCCC can be an answer, and that year it was a current affair. So I will go to UNFCCC because climate change, momentum for change is directly linked with UNFCCC. Okay, yes. With reference to educational instituting colonial rule, Sanskrit College or Benares, William Jones, Calcutta Madrasa, Warren Hastings, Fort William College, Arthur Wellesley. So here, which of the following pair is correct? So the answer is B, 2 only, Calcutta Madrasa by Warren Hastings. Why? Because Sanskrit College was first founded in Benares, but it was founded by Madras. So in 1781, Warren Hastings founded the Madrasa Aliyah or Calcutta Madrasa. Government Sanskrit College was first found in Benares, established in 1791, and it was a landmark college in India from where several notable teachers emerged. Okay, so Sanskrit College at Benares was not by William Jones. So Fort William College was established by Wellesley. Okay, Lord Wellesley, not Arthur Wellesley. Yes, next. So this is like region found in news. Geography. See, we all see international relations and international affairs as an international affairs and international relation question only. But most of the map based question comes from this international affairs and international relations concept only. Because this Catalonia, Crimea, Mindanao, Oromia, so they're asking which of the following came in news, because that year, there was current affairs related to all these. So the answer here is, C, 1 and 3 only. Catalonia was in Spain and Mindanao was in Philippines. So Oromia is in Ethiopia and Crimea is in Ukraine. Okay. Capital adequacy ratio, very, very important basic economics. What is capital adequacy ratio? See, capital adequacy ratio, I see it as a security. What? So a bank is there. So a bank is giving loan. So before giving loan, the bank should maintain a minimum amount in form of cash that can be either kept in bank itself or in terms of RBI. So that we call it as capital adequacy ratio. Why capital adequacy ratio is needed? If bank goes bankrupt, if there is any reason that bank goes bankrupt, that particular cash can be used to give the depositing the money deposited by the people. Okay. So see this, it is the amount that banks have to maintain in form of their own funds to offset any loss that banks incur and the account holders fail to repay dues. Right. CAR is not decided by individual bank, RBI decides the CAR. So the second statement is wrong, the first statement is right. Clear now what is capital adequacy ratio and who should, RBI decides it. Okay, so how much percentage capital adequacy ratio should be maintained? Capital adequacy ratio means a certain amount that bank should have either within itself as the in form of money, cash, okay, or it should be maintained in the RBI. It can either keep it with itself or it can deposit in the RBI. That is actually a basic backup plan. Like if the loans are not repaid back, the bank might go bankrupt. At that time, it is the money will be used to compensate the depositors who have deposited the money. Okay, next. The identity platform Aadhaar provides open application programming interfaces. What does it imply? What is this application programming interfaces? It can be integrated into any electronic device. Online authentication using iris is possible. Okay, so the answer is both 1 and 2. Yes, see now I am using it into the electronic device like for know your customer service, something and all I'm using. So and then online application using iris. So when we went to this Aadhaar biometrics, they scanned our eyes. So that is for the iris scanning. That is what we call it as iris scanning. So it's responsibility of issuing Indian residents with identification. See, residents, they're not talking about citizens. Keep it in mind. It is not an identity of citizenship. Okay? Yes. Very recently, in which of the following countries have lakhs of people either suffered from severe famine or acute malnutrition or died due to starvation? Again, it is by war and ethnic conflicts. So here they are talking about current affair. That year, South Sudan and Yemen was having war in them, civil war in them. So the answer is Yemen. It's again the current affair. Okay, 2017 Global Index showed this. So in that particular year, Yemen and South Sudan were having civil wars. That year they faced famine, heavy famines. Regarding Wood's dispatch, which of the following statements are correct? See, Wood's dispatch is one of the most important concept. So what is it? So in Wood's dispatch, what all happened? So grants and aid system was introduced. Establishment of universities were recommended. English as a medium of instruction at all levels of education was recommended. Okay. So what happened? Grants and aid system was introduced. Establishment of universities was recommended. But English as a medium of instruction, we just saw. In 1813 Charter Act and 1823 Commission only English was instructed as an medium. 1854 and all, already English was a medium of education. So grants and aid system and establishment of university was recommended as the answer. See, the answer is already there in one more question. So if you know either one of the questions answer, you can answer the other question. Okay. With reference to Parliament of India, which of the following, see parliamentary committees, every year they ask at least one question from parliamentary committees. Please go and revise parliamentary committees, very important. Okay, see in this video I have mentioned certain concepts, certain questions that every year they ask questions. So it means that before going to this prelims 2020, you should revise those topics for sure. Okay, yes. Okay, scrutinizes the reports to the House whether powers to make regulations, rules, sub-rules, bylaws, etc. Conferred by the Constitution or delegated by the Parliament are being properly exercised by the Executive within the scope of such delegation. Okay, are the Parliament following the excise their rules and regulations within their delegation. So here the answer is Committee on Subordinate Legislation. It is again the basics. Go and read the parliamentary committees, because the Committee on Subordinate Legislation is like there shall be a committee for every house of parliament, both the house of parliament, on subordinate legislation to scrutinize and ensure whether power to make rules, regulations, bylaws, schemes or other statutory instruments are conferred by the constitution or delegated by the parliament. Are they following the rules and regulations? Or are they following the rules and regulations to make subordinate legislation? That is what is this subordinate legislation committee. Okay. Right to Education Act. As per the Right to Education Act, to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in a state, a person would be required to possess minimum qualification laid on by the concerned State Council of Teachers Education. Okay. As per RTE, for teaching primary classes, a candidate is required to pass teacher eligibility test conducted in accordance with National Council of Teacher Education guidelines. In India, more than 90% of teachers, 90% of teacher, 5 education institutions are directly under the state governments. Okay, what is the answer? Here, see, the National Council of Teacher Education only decides. The first statement is wrong. See this, as per the Right to Education Act of fine. So for this, what happens is that it's not state which decides, it is decided by the National Educational Council only. It's not, this is wrong. So this is right. Okay, so the National Council of Teacher Education only decides. So in India, more than 90% of the teacher and 5 education institutes are directly under the state governments. It is again question. No, wrong. So the answer is 2 only. So if you eliminate the option 1 and if they eliminate the option 1, you only have 2 options. So in that, the second option we know it for sure. So you are choosing the option 2. Okay, so here, see, according to RTE, the National Council of Teacher Education only determines the eligibility conditions. Fine, that is right. Okay, yes. Next, festivals, art and culture, again festivals. Okay, so Chapcharkat festival, Kongjom Parba Ballet and Tongdo dance, these are all came in current affairs also, and study in terms of art and culture also. In terms of art and culture, so if you follow this Nitin Sinhania book, so in that book you have a special topic in which you can cover festivals alone. I'll go and watch videos in the Unacademy platform where they have concentrated especially on festivals. So in that, if you see here, the answer is 1 and 2 only, because Tong To dance is belonging to yes, Tongto is not a festival. It's a it's a traditional martial art of Manipuris. Okay, so where this all this Chapturkat festival is related to Mizoram, Kongjo Parba ballet is related to Manipur, Tongto dance is related to Manipur. Okay, so there you go and see art and culture. See, especially in art and culture, Northeast is very, very important. Okay, so again it's a basic. Yes, Food Safety Standards Act 2006 replaced the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act of 1954. The Food Safety and Standards Authority of India is under the Director General of Health Services in the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, see here, the food safety will not come under the see, Food Safety Authority is an autonomous body. It is not under this Director General of Health and Services. It comes directly under the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and it is an autonomous body. Keep that in mind. This FSSAA is an autonomous body which comes under directly under the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. See, it is an autonomous body. The second statement is wrong. And the first statement is right. Yes, the Food Safety Standards Authority of India have replaced the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. So the answer is 1 only. And again, it was a current affair. That year, the Food Safety and Standards Act came in news very importantly. Okay, because 2017, 2016 only this Maggie problem came, and many food safety related questions arose. Fine. Next. Food Safety Standard Acts replaced 8 older acts. Okay, I will issue the PDFs. Don't worry. Come to the Telegram channel. I will be issuing the PDFs. In that, please read all those things. Okay. Next. Two-state solution is sometimes mentioned in the news of what? Israel. Simple. Okay. The two-state solution, Israel-Palestine conflict. Okay, this Arab-Israel conflict was very famous, and the two-state solution came into news. That's a clear-cut current affair. You should know that current affair. International affairs are very, very important. With reference to the provision made under National Food Security Act 2013, okay, that is Food Safety Standards Act. It is National Food Security Act. Be clear in the mind. Okay, the families coming under the category of below poverty line only are eligible to receive subsidized grains. The eldest woman in the household of age 18 years or above shall be head of the household. True, very true. Okay, the second statement is right. Pregnant women and lactating mothers are entitled to take home the ration of C. This first statement is also right. Okay, the answer is 1 and 2. The answer is 2 only. Okay, sorry, not the first statement. I'll tell you. Okay, see here in this first statement it is wrong. It is not below poverty line. We call it as targeted public distribution. So targeted public distribution is they concentrate on pregnancy women and adolescent children, adolescent girl child. In that, generally a woman needs a calories of minimum of 2250, minimum of 2250 calories. Pregnant women definitely needs more than that. Yes or no? 1600 calories. We should have studied in biology. 1600 calories is like very less for a pregnant woman, and obviously the statement is wrong. Third statement is wrong. I'm eliminating the third statement. I get 1 and 2 only, 3 only. So 1 and 2 only. According to National Food Securities Act, the coverage and entitlement under targeted public distribution system, that is 75% of rural population and 50% of urban population will be covered. In this, they are not talking about below poverty line. They are talking about the targeted people. In that targeted people, they brought many conditions like pregnant women, adolescent children, like that, and then children till the age of 6 or 14, like that. Okay, so that is different. It is not like below poverty line only can get ration cards, or no, that's not right. Okay, yes. Geographical indication of goods. Geographical indication of goods Registration and Protection Act in accordance to the complications with World Trade Organization, because the act was operated. So what is that act? It's called as TRIPS, trade related aspects of intellectual property rights of the World Trade Organization only takes care of this IPR rights. Very, very, very important. Okay, so this act was under this World Trade Organization. You should definitely know why. I will also give you one more link. See, geographical indication, GI tag is given for what? GI tag is given where the value of product will increase, which will help in trade. ILO is related to labor, and then IMF is related to monetary policies. So these two definitely will not come. United Nations Convention on Trade might come, but this UNCAD is different. They are giving some rules and regulation, but WTO only regulates trade. Since GI tag is related to TRIPS, IPR rights, then it comes under World Trade Organization. Don't just rotate. Simply GI tag is related to IPR. IPR is related to trade related aspects of intellectual property. This TRIPS is under World Trade Organization. Simple. Because it is to take the advantage of minimum standards of GI protection, and TRIPS sets out for the World Trade Organization to comply with their national legislations. Consider the following statement. In India, state governments do not have the power to auction non-coal mines. Andhra Pradesh and Jharkhand do not have gold mines. Rajasthan has iron ore mines. Fine, this is the question. This is a geography and current affairs. Fine. How can I find out? Answer is 1 and 3 only. Why? Obviously, Andhra Pradesh has gold mines. Okay. In India, state governments do not have the power to auction. Yes, the central government only can auction non-coal mines. Rajasthan has iron ore mines. That's true. Okay, it's in current affair. If I mean, you can see it because both Jharkhand and Andhra Pradesh have gold mines. Bhilwara in Rajasthan has iron ore mine. Okay, so this is like geography, basics of geography. Just take map. So what you're going to do is just take map, state wise, what are the questions. Okay, this is like you should know the content and you should answer, or it will be in the current affair. Beam app allows a user to transfer money to anyone with a UPI enabled bank account. Right. While a chip PIN debit card has 4 factors of authentication, Beam has only 2 factors of authentication. How? See, in Beam, what happens is that what are the authentication you have? So you will have an UPI PIN, and then you should have a UPI PIN, and then generally you have a bank, I mean your phone PIN. Okay, and for authentication you should have this KYC customer authentication, KYC know your customer, and then bank should bank should give an OTP. See, for authentication your bank should accept know your customer concept is there, and you should also set a UPI PIN. So minimum of 3 levels of authentication is there. Along with that, phone security also should be needed. So you have 4 kind of authentications, need 4 factors of authentications needed here. The second statement is wrong. The answer is 1 only. And definitely you need a bank account for UPI. That is right. Okay. Among the following, which one lies on a longitude closest to that of Delhi? For this, you should definitely know about the map. So here is Bangalore. You should definitely see atlas, because if you see atlas, you will have Delhi here, and you come here, you have Karnataka here. Karnataka will be like this, something like this. You will have Bangalore here. They will be closer compared to other states. Pune definitely will not come, because Pune will come, inside the Mumbai, the leeward side of Western Ghats. That will not be the answer. It should be either Bangalore or Hyderabad. We go for Bangalore. Okay, through Atlas. International Labour Organization Convention 138 and 182 are related to what? Fine. Child labor, adaptation of agricultural practices to global climate change, definitely this will not come. Regulation of food prices and food security, no. Gender parity at workplace or child labor. So either of this should be the answer. Here it is related to labor. So it's obviously child labor. Gender parity is like, it's a very recent question. Do you understand? So very recent thing we are talking about gender parity, but child labor has been for a very long time. So International Labour Organization is related to child labor. How I eliminated the 2 options. I came to conclusion with child labor and gender parity. Gender parity is something we are speaking in very recently, 2018 to 2019, 20. 1920 only we are talking about this gender parity. But child labor has been in a very long time, especially this question came in 2018, which means something happened in 2017. So definitely it should be child labor. Okay. Consider the following events. The first democratically elected Communist Party government formed in a state in India. India's largest bank, Imperial Bank of India, was renamed. Air India was nationalized and became the national carrier. Goa became the part of independent India. Again, chronology, year-based concept. This is all post-independence consolidation question. Okay, post-independent consolidation. So post-independent consolidation is a one important concept which many people ignore. Please go and study that post-independent consolidation. See, Tata Airlines became the first public company in 1946. The answer is B, that is 3214. First is like Tata Airlines in 1946 itself. 1 year immediately after independence itself, it became the national carrier. And then the Imperial Bank of India was formed in 1955. Sorry, yes. Okay, the State Bank of India was transformed from Imperial Bank of India in 1955. So later, after 1946, 1955 came. And then the Kerala Legislative Assembly election of 1957 was the first assembly. So in that 1957 is the second statement. And finally, Goa became the part in 1960s only. 1961 only it came to the part of India. Okay, 1961 to 64. So it is very long. It is very last concept. Okay, the answer is B. Right to privacy. Straightly you can go to right to privacy comes under Article 21. No other question. Right to privacy is an intrinsic part of, see, they itself they gave you right to life and personal liberty. Right to life and personal liberty is Article 21. Simple, don't think about anything else. Right to life and personal liberty is Article 21. They have given you the answer under Part 3, Fundamental Rights. Clear? Yes. This one, this is related to minimum support price. Areca nut, barley. See, now there is this, minimum support price changes. So please go and watch that. Please go and look at that current affair. What have changed? What are the basic commodities removed? What are the basic commodities added? All these things, please go and look at. This is that year's current affair. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affair only will only announce the minimum support price. That's true. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, not Agricultural Ministry, keep it in mind. Minimum support price is announced by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. This is relevant to that year, 2, 4, 5 and 6 only. 2, 4, 5 and 6 only. But this year it has changed. Please go and look at that. Okay? Yes. In which of the following Pakui Wildlife Sanctuary is located? Again, it was in the current affair that year. Unless it is in current affair, mostly you don't get question. Okay, so Arunachal Pradesh. It was in the current affair that year. It was declared a sanctuary in 1977, was earlier part of Kelong Forest Division. It has been recently declared a tiger reserve in 2002 based on the proposal in 1999. Okay. India satellite launch vehicles. PSLV, GSLV. Okay, PSLV launch useful for Earth resources monitoring, whereas GSLV, geostationary satellite launch vehicle, are mainly used to launch communication satellites. Satellites launched by PSLV appear to remain permanently fixed in the same position. Okay. See the term geostationary satellite launch vehicle, polar satellite launch vehicle. So we have the term geostationary satellite launch vehicle appear to remain permanently fixed. Obviously, you know that the second statement is wrong because geostationary only will remain. So I am eliminating the second statement. If I eliminate second statement, I only have one only, two only, one only or three only. Okay, but the answer is one only. Why? GSLV Mark III is a four-stage one vehicle. That year GSLV Mark III was a very famous current affair. Okay, first and third stages, one used solid rocket motors and second and fourth stages used liquid rocket engines. But GSLV Mark III is a three-stage vehicle, not a four-stage vehicle. So that was that year's current affair. Unless you know that year's current affair, you studied about GSLV Mark III, you can't answer. Okay, the answer is one only. Okay, next. With reference to the governance of public sector banking in India, capital infusion in the public sectors by the government of India has steadily increased the last decade. To put the public sector banks in order, the merger of associate banks with the parent of State Bank of India has been effected. Again, this was the current affair, and out of the economic survey, both the answers are right because capital infusion took place because what happened was this national this NPS. Okay, so many NPS was created, so they have to be capital infusion has to take place, and to put public sector merger of associate banks also took place. So the answer is both 1 and 2. Cereal grains hulled, chicken eggs cooked, related to GST. Okay. Newspaper containing advertisement material. Which of the items are exempted? They're not asking included, they're asking about the exempted. The answer is D. All the four are exempted from the GST. Okay. Cereal grains hulled, chicken eggs cooked, fish processed and canned, newspaper containing advertisement material. All these are exempted. Okay, now you please go and check. Now it can be changed. Okay, so please go and check every year. It might have been changed. The definition of critical wildlife habitat is incorporated in the Forest Rights Act of 2006. For the first time in India, Baigas have been given habitat rights. Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change officially decides and declares habitat right for primitive and vulnerable tribal groups in India. PVTGs. Last year also PVTG was very famous. See, PVTG, you talk about tribal people, tribal ministry only comes into play. It's not the environment ministry decides. So I'm eliminating the third option, I get the answer. First is right, the definition of critical wildlife habitat is in the Forest Rights Act. And for the first time in India, Baigas have the given the habitat rights, right? But this PVTG, tribal ministry, tribal affairs ministry only will decide. Clear? So I'm eliminating third option, I'm getting the answer. Okay? Yes. Birds, dust blowing, rain, wind blowing. Which of the above spread plants diseases? Actually, birds will spread plant diseases, dust flowing, rain, wind blowing, all these will spread plant diseases, all the above. Okay? Agents of spreading diseases, all the above is the answer. Okay? With reference to organic farming in India, consider the following statement. National Program for Organic Production (NPOP) is operated on the guidelines and directions of the Union Ministry of Rural Development. Okay, so this is an important question you should think about. The Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority functions as the secretariat for the implementation of NPOP. So Sikkim has become India's first fully organic state. True. 3 is right. So obviously 3 options are there. You cannot eliminate using this. But National Program for Organic Production, will it come under Ministry of Rural Development or will it come under Ministry of Agriculture? Ministry of Commerce, since it's related to production. Okay, it's not related to agriculture, it is related to production. So Ministry of Commerce will come into play, definitely not rural development. So I eliminate the first option, I get the answer. 3 is definitely right. Okay, 2 is also right. Agriculture and processed food products export development is right. Fine. Next. Money bill. They're asking which of the following statement is not correct. They're not asking which of the following statement is correct. A bill shall be deemed to money bill if it contains only provision related to imposition, abolition, remission, alteration or regulation of any tax. A money bill has provision for the custody of Consolidated Fund of India or Contingency Fund of India. A money bill is concerned with the appropriation of monies out of the Contingency Fund of India. A money bill deals with the regulation of borrowing of money or giving any guarantee for the government of India. So, they're asking which of the following statement is not correct. See, a money bill is concerned with the appropriation of monies out of Contingency Fund of India. No, it is not money bill. See, the term itself is given, it's appropriation bill. Do you all know that we have something called as appropriation bill? See, we have a video called as Budget in Parliament. Just go and watch. For budget in Parliament, to get money out of contingency fund, sorry, two things. One, it is not Contingency Fund of India. First is it's Consolidated Fund of India. And for appropriation of money out, we have appropriation bill. 2 points. Fine. So in that statement, option C is wrong. So that is the answer because they're asking which of the following is not correct. Okay. Yes. See, the appropriation of money out of the Consolidated Fund of India is by appropriation bill. With reference to the election of president, consider the following statement. The value of each MLA varies from state to state. Obviously, yes, because we call it a single transferable vote. The value varies according to the state's population and number of people elected. The value of vote of MPs of Lok Sabha is more than the value of vote of MPs of Rajya Sabha. Okay, this is something we should think about. Fine. So what happens? Both the statements are right because it is not based on Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, number one, And one more thing is what happens. The Presidential Electoral College is made up of the following: the elected members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and elected members of the State Assembly, Vidhan Sabha, which is called it as. So what happens? The value of Lok Sabha MP is 384, 384, 384,444, but Lok Sabha it is only half. Okay, so 233 people are there in Lok Sabha. Here, see one thing. They're not asking about single vote, they're asking about the value of vote of MPs. Here they're asking about each MLA. We might get confused. They're asking value of vote of each MP. Here the statement might be wrong, but here they're asking a value of vote of MPs and the value of vote of MPs of Rajya Sabha. So total value they're asking, which means this is something we might get confused and we might get wrong. Very clearly think an answer. See, here they have given each. Here if they did not give the term each. Why? Because they are trying to ask you a different question. Please be very careful when you are answering these kind of questions. Okay. Next. In Indian context, implication of ratification of additional protocol with the International Atomic Energy Agency. What does that mean by additional protocol? The civilian nuclear reactors come under IAEA standards, safeguards. Military nuclear installations come under the inspection of International Atomic Energy Agency. Country will have the privilege to buy uranium from the nuclear suppliers group. The country automatically becomes the nuclear suppliers group. What is this additional protocol? The civilian nuclear reactors come under IAEA safeguards. That's only right. Okay, so this is like current affairs. Okay. Okay, so consider the following statement. Free trade partners of ASEAN. Okay, so free trade partners of ASEAN. So the answer is C, 1, 3, 4 and 5 only. 1, 3, 4 and 5. Australia, China, Japan and India. It's again you should know about the ASEAN. So in that about ASEAN, what are the headquarters? It is in Jakarta, Indonesia, found in August 1687. Members, here are the members. But we should know about free trade partners, FTAs, Australia, New Zealand, India, South Korea. It is not North Korea, it's South Korea, Japan and China. Okay, this is South Korea. Fine, it's again basics of ASEAN. ASEAN is very important. Every year we get question from ASEAN. Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture, CASCA. Which of the following statement? Again, this is actually GASCA, GASA. It's outcome of climate summit held in Paris. Membership of GASCA did not create any binding obligation. India was instrumental in the creation of GASCA. Okay, so this is something we should think about. Let's see. So India, that's what I told you. If you think about, you get the answer. India was instrumental in creation of GASCA is something questionable. If so, we might have definitely known. You eliminate the option 3, you get the answer, but we will see about it. See, the concept of climate smart agriculture was originally developed in Food and Agriculture Organization. Okay, so since they are talking about agriculture, Food and Agriculture Organization must be the answer. So this is the answer. So yes. Okay, so India is not an instrumental, was not instrumental in the creation of GASCA. So I eliminate the third option because if India was instrumental, we will definitely know. In International Solar Alliance, India was instrumental. So we should definitely know when you are studying in current affairs, when you come across that India is instrumental, you should definitely know those current affairs. Then you can eliminate these kind of questions. Okay, yes. Digital India plan. Formation of India's own internet company like China did. Okay. Establish a policy framework to encourage overseas multinational companies that collect big data to build their large data centers within our national geographical boundaries. Connect many of our villages to bring internet and bring Wi-Fi to many of our school public places. Definitely third will come. Okay. But formation of India's own company and establishment of policy framework. See, formation of India's own company, I will bring it under Make in India program. How will that come under Digital India? Digital India means the Indians, the people of India will be digitally literate, and they should be able to access internet, and they should be able to access digital governance. That is a major aim of Digital India. For that, what all we need? We need the basic installation of technologies like internet and then mobiles, all these things. So in that, connect many of our villages using the internet, bring Wi-Fi to schools, public places, major tourist places are right. But this big data concept and this are all not right. The answer is B. Okay. This again because Syria came in news. Syria, Yemen, and all was in news at that time because of this civil war. All this concept. So here they're asking the correctly matched pair B 1 and 4 only. Okay, Aleppo and Masari Sharif. Okay, so these are the people. Okay, Aleppo is sorry, it is a city in Syria, and Kirkuk is a city in Iraq. So all these concepts. Okay, Masari Sharif is a city in Afghanistan. Fine. So here, if you know Aleppo, you can eliminate these. You can eliminate these two readily. So you have two options: 1 and 2 only, 1 and 4 only. Kirkuk, you should know it is in Iraq. Okay. Again, international affairs. In the federation established by Government of India Act of 1935, the residuary power lies with Governor General. Okay, so today the residuary power lies with Parliament or central government. But that time, according to 1935 Act, the residuary power lied in Governor General. 1935 Act is very important. Clear? Yes. How many questions more? Yeah, we are going to cover it soon. Only few questions more. Okay. The Speaker of Legislative Assembly, we will finish it very fast, guys. Very useful it will be. Just revise this video again. Go and solve the question. Instead of watching this video again, go and solve the question based on whatever I revise. The Speaker of Legislative Assembly shall vacate his or her office if he ceases to be a member of Assembly. Okay. Whenever the Legislative Assembly is dissolved, the Speaker shall immediately vacate. That is what is the important concept. Speaker need not immediately vacate, when the Legislative Assembly is dissolved. So what happens? Speaker will remain in position till the next new Speaker is elected, because the Speaker's function is to administer the oath of new Speaker. Sometimes what happened by convention, when the Assembly is dissolved, the Legislative Assembly is dissolved, the Speaker by himself, he resigns. So then we have this pro tem Speaker concept. But since it's related to yes, so that is a concept. So the second statement is wrong, the first statement is right. So if he's losing the MP position, he will lose his position as Speaker, but the Legislative Assembly dissolving will not remove his position. This is same for Lok Sabha also. Okay, this is same for Lok Sabha also, keep it in mind. Here they're talking about state legislative assemblies. This is same for Lok Sabha also. MP or MLA, if a person is losing his position as MP or MLA, he will cease to be a Speaker. But when the Legislative Assembly or Lok Sabha is dissolved, the person can remain his position. He need not immediately vacate his post. He will remain till the next Speaker comes into position. Okay? Yes. Which of the following reflects the nicest appropriate relationship between law and liberty? See, nicest appropriate relationship between law and liberty. Fine. If there are more laws, there is less liberty. Obviously, the statement is wrong, because sometimes liberty can be ensured by law only. So more law means less liberty. That's wrong. If there is no law, no liberty. Okay, so that we should think about. If there is liberty, laws have to be made by people. No, if people are making law, what happens? People will make law according to their convenience only. If laws are changed too often, liberty is in danger. No, not necessarily. Okay, if laws are changed too often, what happens? It is based on the convenience. So the answer is B. If there are no laws, there is no liberty, right? How? There is no government, no law means there is no one to ensure that we have liberty. So what happens? The stronger ones will take the liberty and they will start controlling the weaker ones. So if there is no law, there won't be liberty because stronger ones will have a strong hold on weaker ones. See how I eliminated. If there are more laws, there is less liberty. Obviously, no. In our country itself, you take example. We have many laws. Did we lose liberty? Laws only will ensure liberty. So we need laws for liberty. If there is liberty, law have to be made by people. If people make law, they will make laws selfishly. It will not ensure liberty. It will lead to tyranny. If laws are changed too often, liberty is in danger, not necessarily. Sometimes a law can be created wrong, so it is changed to ensure liberty. So that also will not be the answer. So answer is, there are no laws, liberty will not be there. That is the answer. See, just think and answer. Don't confuse yourself. Just think and answer. Just relate it with some example and try to answer these kind of questions. Okay. Sometimes, if you feel these kind of questions to be, a threat or risk, don't attend. I tell you already. See, you should not go beyond 90. So you're attending questions. 85 is the limit. You're very sure go till 90. Don't go beyond 90. If you're going beyond 90, there is a possibility you might get more possibility. It's not like everyone. There is a possibility that you might get more negative. So be very careful when you're answering the questions. No criminal proceeding shall be instituted against the governor of a state in any court during his term of office. Yes, because under Article 14, this is an exemption. First statement is definitely right. The emoluments and allowances of the governors of state shall not be diminished during his term of office. It's also right. Okay, the answer is both one and two. It's a very simple straight question. Under Article 14, it's an exemption that against president or governor, criminal proceedings cannot be followed. Okay, yes. The well-known painting Bani Thani belongs to it belongs to Kishangarh school. Okay, so Bani Thani painting is a very famous painting which comes under Kishangarh school, especially at the time of King Savan Singh. It has been compared to Mona Lisa. The painting will be very beautiful. Okay, it is a miniature painting done by Nihal Chand, very famous. Nihal Chand and his Bani Thani is like a very famous terminology. It will be very beautiful, and they say that this Bani Thani is having the qualities of Radha Krishna, na Radha. Okay, so this Bani Tani is one of the most important. Just go and search. She'll be having a long eyes, eyes will be like this only, sharp nose. So the painting will be like sharp, thin. The painting will be like one-sided painting. It will be very beautiful. Bright colors, red and blue colors, background are all given. Just go and watch it. Go and see it. Okay. Terminal High Altitude Defense, THAAD, sometimes seen in news, is an American anti-missile system. Okay, again, it was a current affair. Current affair. Okay, current affair, all you should study the current affair and only answer. You cannot answer it. This previous year question is a pure art and culture. You have it in this Nitin Sinhania book. If you have studied Nitin Sinhania book, you can answer it. Sometimes Bani Thani painting also came in current affair, I think, that year based on some recognition or some concept. Okay, yes. With reference to cultural history of India, most of the Tyagaraja Kirtis are devotional songs in the place of Lord Krishna. Tyagaraja created several new ragas. Annamacharya and Tyagaracharya are contemporaries. Annamacharya Kirtanas are devotional songs in praise of Lord Venkateshwara. Okay. So this one, 2 and 4 is only the answer. Because Tyagaraja created several new ragas, right? And then Annamacharya is related to Lord Venkateshwara. Why the other statements are wrong? Saint Tyagaraja is in Telugu, form of Indian classical music. So Tyagaraja and his contemporaries. So Tyagaraja had contemporaries, Shyama Sastri and Muthuswami Dirchigar, who is called as the trinity of modern Carnatic music. So we can eliminate the third option. So if you eliminate the third option itself, you get the answer. Because the trinity of Carnatic music, you just know that point. Trinity of Carnatic music, if you know alone, you can answer because you eliminate third option. So A, C, and D will go. So you get the answer 2 and 4 only. Okay. So his songs featured himself usually either in the appeal of deity of worship of Avatar Rama. It's not Lord Krishna, Avatar Rama. Okay. So trinities of trinities of Indian class in trinities of Carnatic music is a very important concept. Please go and read that. Okay. Okay. Main features of rule of law. Definitely equality before law will come. So I'm seeing second option. Okay, three are having equality before law. Limitation of powers, people's responsibility to the government, liberty and civil rights. So under rule of law, we have 1, 2 and 4 only. Okay, limitation of powers will take place. Whose limitation? The government's powers limitation will take place. It's not people's responsibility to government, the government's responsibility to people. Liberty and civil rights will come under this concept. Okay, so the answer is 1, 2 and 4 only. See here, features of modern law. Certainty of law. Law should be certain. Supremacy, law is supreme. Equality before law. Right to personal freedom. Laws must take retrospective effect. Retrospective effect means to previous concept, previous years, before to the past. Independent judiciary, protection of human rights. Okay. So yes, so we finished 100 questions from 2018, guys. See, we have seen strategy in many questions, how to approach these questions, all these concepts. See, very, very important this is. Please do have a revision of all these concepts. Just see the strategy. In some places, I would have mentioned some topics that you should definitely revise before going to this examination. Please do revise those concepts like trinities of classical music, basics of economics, all these kind of things. Okay, please do go and see all those concepts. Very, very important. Before going to this examination, I want you to be very thorough about all these concepts. We have classes tomorrow, etc. tomorrow, and then on 26th and 27th, I'll be coming to discuss certain question papers. So we'll meet again. Okay, so any doubts, you can ask me in the telegram or here or in the comment. I will be replying you. So please do well. All the best. Study strategically. Okay, that is the thing. Share this video, like this video, and use my code SUBA to get a percentage of discount. Keep it in mind related to the subscription hike. Very, very important it is. Fine. Thank you. Thank you again. I'll meet you tomorrow exactly at 2:30 p.m. Fine. We'll meet again tomorrow.